We are now live.
They can see us.
They're not British. You're like, wow.
Whoa.
England's got some good
You
fish.
learned something new. Yeah.
Nothobranchus, endemic to the British Isles.
I thought they only had brown fish there.
They do.
They
No,
do.
That's true. I watch like competitive fishing, and like the fishing tournaments in like England are so boring.
They're
It's
going
like-
for trout.
It's like no,
No, sorry, carp.
it's like 50 dudes sitting around like a small pond with really long 10-foot rods, and they're just getting bream, bream, and they put them in a little basket, and then the winner is the guy who got 16 bream. They're all the same size. It's so boring.
Have you seen though? They're like carp fishing videos.
Mm-hmm.
My friend.
You know you're desperate when you get excited about carp
So
fishing.
my friend Richard, that's what he did like all summer, and he was catching like 30-pound carp.
Probably fun,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
but there are cooler fish you could be catching.
True.
I don't know. Catching a carp is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a golden bonefish.
It's
My
harder
nickname.
too than you
Oh,
you
yeah.
would think. Like
Oh, yeah.
like getting a good and he would go and I can't out his spot, but
No, it's fine.
it was.
Here are the coordinates, latitude and longitude.
Do you know where the SSS Silverside is, Muskegon?
Yeah.
He would fish next to the SSS Silverside.
Oh, I met a couple of people doing that, and I actually met somebody who was a competitive fisherman from Indiana,
Yeah,
and he drove up from Indiana to fish right there.
yeah.
So funny.
He got like a huge mirror carp this summer, and it was like longfin out of that spot.
Wow.
It was like 20
That sounds
pounds
cool.
too.
Like chasing like variants
Yeah.
of carp.
Mm-hmm.
Carp species. That's cool.
You know, my only issue with this, he wouldn't kill them.
Hmm.
But
Amy, we don't have a screen here. We can see the feed. It's not that big of a deal because
I might just need to refresh it because I had to log in on the other page, so it might not know I'm logged in.
okay.
Lots of people coming.
Hey,
There we
look,
go.
there we are.
Hey, everybody.
hello.
Thanks, Amy. That was nice of you.
Looks like we got a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Got
Good crowd.
Kelly.
Hi, everybody.
Got Devin.
We did some things to the sound on the last episode. Let us know how we did. And then we're going to pick an episode that I'm going to have Nick go through an older episode and run whatever he did on one of those older episodes. Whatever episode Nick wants.
Just choose one of our most popular ones.
So pick
Yeah.
a number, Nick.
Remaster.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
remaster an episode.
Okay, I'll look into it.
See if we can perk it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, lots of people. Lots of familiar names, lots of new names.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love new names. Thank you
Mhm.
very much. We appreciate that support.
Well, how much do we have to get through? Do we got to get going, or do we have more to chat about right now?
I feel like it's an achievable list of questions this time, but
Okay.
you guys talk a lot, so
Yeah, that's true.
we'll
You just
see.
got to tell us how long we're allowed to talk, and then stop us when you want us to be done.
We need like a red light, green light kind of thing where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, shut up now. We got to move on.
We need like a chess clock.
I don't stop talking ever.
I'm hoping that I'm gonna try to get out of the way here a little bit, and maybe y'all can see here. I'll do this so you can see.
See if you can call him over.
Come on over to this side, guys. Over here, guys. Over here.
There he is. Oh, he's behind
Oh.
your head.
If I do this,
Does it look red? Do you see?
Can you
does
see him?
anyone see a flash of red in that tank back there? No, you can't see him.
no. Okay, I got my hands
Oh wait,
on.
I can see him a
yeah,
little bit.
could you see it? Just
a little bit.
just a hint?
If I squint.
Okay. Anyway, I got my hands on a pair of Betta Cochina with a collection location, and I will try to remember to put that in the thread. But
You're gonna have
yes.
to take some pictures and post them on Facebook or something.
Yes, they will be in that tank for a little while while we get our Blackwater tank set up. But that's going to be really cool. We're going to have a Blackwater tank probably set up right there.
The tank you all voted on is finally coming,
Yes.
but it doesn't have the fish that you voted on, but it's still good.
Wasn't Cochina?
was
we're
Brown
Brown
Norum.
Arum.
Norm.
I have the
Yeah,
collection
it
location,
happens.
but I can't pronounce it. I'll make Calder pronounce it.
Kampar Tanga. Rao?
See? I don't know either.
Could you have done better than that?
That's probably what I would have done too.
Should we make a Blackwater quarter? That's what somebody's asking.
A Blackwater what?
Quarter.
They said a month isn't enough.
Oh, quarter.
Yeah, we probably could.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, speaking of Blackwater, I have the first successful batch of fry from my Ivanakara.
Woohoo.
Yeah,
this
that's
weekend.
very cool.
You're
Nick,
at almost 3 days now, right?
Yeah, I think I'm 3 days since hatch.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So
those are amazing fish, and he's got some really cool video of the female being just a fantastic parent. I love watching that.
Did you have to separate out your male?
I did.
Okay.
I isolated. He looks pissed.
He's so mad.
Let me out.
I was thinking dithers for you should get like coral red pencils.
The expensive ones?
They're like 15.
No,
The
you
same
should get the
section.
purple ones. They're more. Actually,
Yeah.
you should get the really fancy collection location.
Cenas.
Mm-hmm.
The
Do you want to go fund me?
Cenepas.
Yeah.
No.
Start a
But you should do
GoFundMe
it.
for.
Yeah, you should spend your money.
We should have done a Blackwater Plants episode.
I could actually benefit from that.
Yeah. Oh, Mike's got Volcanum fry now.
Those
Oh,
are
very
great.
cool.
Love that fish. That might be what I'm going for at Kili Carnival this year. I don't know.
You're gonna get some bulk. I've got to get diopterons again, a cool Notho, a South American, more rainbow fish, and there's one. I've room for a blind bear. That's what I've.
Volcanum and Citrina pinus were the two I left last year, like obsessed with, and
Yeah.
we got the Citrina pinus.
I'm there for Nothobronchius poli. If I have to get that fish.
That would be cool.
Somebody asked about the Adoketa spawn. I don't know what I did. I'm like 5 pH, and I'm almost 0 degrees hardness, and I had 6 failed spawns. So I was told that the males are really bad at fertilizing, so it could just be a number of trial and error.
Time and good care, right?
Maybe so, yeah.
Finally pointed in the right direction.
Hmm.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, we got to get going.
You guys ready?
Let's do it.
I think so.
Welcome to the latest Watercolors Aquarium Gallery podcast, brought to you from the Aquarium Rush Studios in downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan. My name is Ben,
I'm Amy.
And I'm Calder.
and joining us once again, Nick is here.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks a lot for
Yay.
being here, Nick. Nick is going to host our listener question episode.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
Nick likes being here because if he's here, it means it's always a fun episode and people are just excited to see him.
We do have some really fun things coming up that we want to talk about before we get into the episode. But before we do that,
We have to shameless plug before our shameless plug.
right,
So go to watercolors.shop and check out what we got for you in your tank. We've got live plants, we've got aquarium supplies, and we have merch that Ben and I designed. We also have a YouTube membership for $4.99 a month. This episode has been live streamed to the public, so you can always get an idea of what that looks like by going and looking at that on YouTube. Otherwise, join us every week, pay that $4.99 a month, and you get access to those live streams. We also have a Facebook group where you can continue the conversation. That's the Watercolors Aquarium Gallery podcast listeners group on Facebook, and a Watercolors Aquarium Gallery Discord too, where there's a lot of cool chatting, sharing of tanks going on. It's all really fun and a really great positive community.
the community on that is, it's such a refreshing community to be a part of. Not as cool as the community on our YouTube chat, but almost.
I mean, it's the cream of the crop, really.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It is. So up and coming things. March 14, I will be doing a talk at the Grand Valley Aquarium Club here in Grand Rapids. My top 5 favorite killifish talk. I think it'll be a precursor to some other thing that's coming up. We will be doing a live broadcast from the Kili Carnival Tropical Magic Show in Michiana. And that is on April 25. So we will do, we're going to do this kind of in this format for you podcast, for the YouTube members, but it'll be broadcast to everybody, so everybody will be able to hear it. And it'll be a little bit of a shorter episode. We got to keep it down to an hour because it'll be the presentation to that convention. But I think that'll be a good time. We haven't done a remote podcast yet.
Yeah. But anytime we're talking about killifish, it's going to be fun. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely.
And it will definitely be worth it to come in person and see the talk, but also just to experience the convention. If you're within driving distance, it's worth the day trip.
Please come say hi.
Yeah, we would love to meet you.
There are going to be some of the best killifish in the country at that event. Killifish that you won't be able to find anywhere else. Some of the people that are involved in this club have been doing it absolutely forever. And part of the reason that we are going to be there is to try and bring killifish to everyone. The killifish hobby kind of needs a little bit of a nudge, needs a little bit of a boost, and killifish deserve it. We want them to be a huge part of the hobby. You know us and killifish, you know how much we love that.
We are
This
actively recruiting.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a great place to get exposed to some really cool killifish people and just some absolutely incredible fish.
And the conjunction with Tropical Magic also means that there's going to be all sorts of other cool, fun stuff there, too. Some of the notable things that we came back with last year were wild bettas, and those were present, as well as lots of other cool tropical fish that weren't killifish.
I left with really cool rainbows and Corys.
Yeah.
So,
Do a search for Killy Carnival and Tropical Magic. Killy Carnival, by the way, is spelled carnival with a K. So, you know.
Because of course it is.
Because of course it is. Because then it's more like killifish. But check us out at that show. And then in June, I'm going to be doing a talk to the Missouri Aquarium Club. Actually, you're going to do a talk
Yeah.
there sooner, right?
no, I'm going in July.
Oh, you're in July. Okay. My talk there is going to be my top 5 favorite aquariums. So we're going to do like some in-depth, like here's 5 really cool setups, and they have asked that I do one of them as a 55-gallon tank. So,
Wow.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
got your number, I guess.
They totally do. Yep. So that'll be another fun event. If you're in the St. Louis area, that is supposed to be an absolutely amazing club. I'm really looking forward to that club.
It's really great.
3 of the big aquarium authors are members of that club, so it'll be a cool time. I'm excited about that.
I will also be giving a talk next month at the Southwest Michigan Aquarium Society on biotopes, and then my talk and that's the 21st of March, and then my talk in July is going to be on stomatopods. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Very cool. Lots coming up.
We're getting out there.
We are.
yeah.
How cool is it that you guys were asked to do an episode at Killy Carnival?
Mind-blowing,
That is- Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's going to be really fun.
And it's one of those things where it feels surreal because I see, like, almost everyone there as, like, idols, you know?
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to them. It's wild.
It is
How's
very
a
cool.
real audience going to feel?
We just get booed.
Just complete silent stares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be fun to have some hecklers there.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I'm
hope
sure.
we do.
I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yep. There'll be some.
Well, not actually, but
Yeah.
kind of.
It'll
Um,
all be in good fun.
The only other thing I want to talk about was we have done some stuff. We did some different things with the sound on the last episode. A lot of you may know there was a discussion in the Facebook group about the quality of the sound. And so Nick edited that last episode differently. Thank you very much for the tips and tricks and some really, really cool ideas. We got some really fantastic outside help on how to make that episode better. Let us know if that's better. Is it great? Is it good? What else can we improve? And I'm also going to pick an older episode and have Nick go through and see if we can go back and maybe fix some of those old episodes as well. So let us know how that one sounds and how this one sounds in comparison to those other episodes. And thank you so much for your input and your patience on that.
And maybe if there's one you've been trying to listen to, but it was just a little too rough, maybe that's one of the ones that you
Yeah.
should
That
start
would be
with.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah, the feedback is great, and specifically Gabe reached out. He's got some experience doing audio engineering stuff, and he gave me some good advice, so thank you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's what you get when you have the geekiest audience around.
Yeah. Geek, by the way, is a huge compliment, just so you all know.
Yeah, I don't talk to people that aren't geeks.
Right.
Is it time?
All right, I think it's time.
Ready for some
Are
questions?
you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's
I'm
do it.
nervous.
All right. I got a good one to start off with. So this is from Isaiah, and he says he wants to first thank us for everything we do for the hobby.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Um,
listening, Isaiah.
He's been keeping fish since 2017. In 2022, he upgraded to a 180-gallon tank. He went to his local store and asked what he should stock in it. They suggested an arowana.
No.
Like, just off the bat, like, that's your off-the-cuff answer for a 180. Jeez.
He didn't know much at the time, and honestly, he should have done more research before purchasing one, he says. And he still has them today. He's 2.5 feet long.
Wow.
He's currently eating frozen shrimp twice a week and doing well.
Okay.
After realizing how large he was getting, him and his dad built a custom tank that measures 8 feet by 4 feet by 28 inches deep.
Dang.
perfect.
Nice.
We haven't moved him yet because I was recently relocated by the military from California to Boston. I don't want to rehome him as he's part of my family. So his questions are, do you think that size tank is sufficient? And what would you recommend for safely moving a fish of that size across the country?
What species is the first question?
He didn't say, but maybe we can narrow it down.
It'd probably be a silver.
Probably a silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is going to be, I mean, eventually max size is getting close to 6 feet, with 4 feet as being like, you can expect that that's going to be a 4-foot fish.
Yeah, the largest one I've ever seen was probably 48 inches.
I mean, it's sad,
Yeah.
but when I heard 2.5, I was like, wow, you made it really far.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a sufficient tank size for a 6-foot fish?
So here's my response to that. You are doing the best you can, and you are giving that fish a better life than most arowanas in captivity get.
Mm-hmm.
Is that adequate? That you start to yes, I think that is adequate, with the caveat that it could always be better. What is the right size for an arowana? I don't know, 30, 40,000 gallons? Maybe 6 or 8,000.
I mean,
Right.
if we're saying it honestly gets to 6 feet, if it was full size, it would struggle to turn around in that tank.
I don't know that.
I don't think they get
feet-
6 feet. I think it might be closer to 50 inches.
Yeah,
Like
with 48 being a pretty common aquarium max size.
yeah.
What I see on a quick search is 4 feet in the wild, closer to 3 feet in captivity.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Isaiah did chime in and say that it is a silver.
Okay.
yeah.
Honestly, you're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think
we see and hear sad stories about arowanas often.
and whether they would live in captivity to reach a longer max size if they
Yeah.
could survive in captivity long term. Because the issue with arowanas isn't just tank size. I mean, you can get away with a lot. It's
Yeah.
also that eventually most of them kill themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
They're extremely athletic,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take. I hear they're kind of flighty too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much for them to drive into a wall with enough force to.
I mean, I don't know
Damage
about
themselves.
silvers, but some arowanas hunt birds.
Yeah.
So their
Silver
instincts are
arrow-
to jump
they
out
are
of
the
the
one.
water
Yeah.
to catch food.
Silver's hunt birds.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
long term, like
Yeah, you should look up videos.
Yeah, so
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of like public aquarium displays that I've seen with very large, well cared for arowanas. The smallest tank I think I've seen a well kept arowana is the Belle Isle Aquarium. They have about a 10-foot tank. It's probably 10 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet. They've
Yeah.
got that. That's where I've seen that 48-inch arowana in it, and it's in there by itself more or less. I think there's a ray on the bottom, but
That would be really cool to
lots
see.
of
Yeah.
flow, lots of movement. And I think that's a common thing, I think, in every arowana I've seen in public aquariums, because I think, truthfully, I don't think there's a good, like, hobbyist reference for proper care of arowana. So I would look to, like, what the AZA is doing and managing for their fish.
Mhm.
Oh, do you think they have a care guide for them?
I
I don't know if
looked
they do for
so
a
I-
lot of fish.
I looked a while ago. They don't have one at least publicly available. There might be one you can find on, like, Google Scholar, and then email, and you can probably get it for free. But it would be something I would look into. The thing that concerns me, I think, the most dangerous thing for this fish is movement. Like big arowanas, if an arowana that size hits the ground, it's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so let's talk about how do you transport it
Hey, 2.5 feet is how big it is
Yeah.
right now. I think
in a
what-
hammock like a whale.
Yeah.
so I would mimic what like they do to move like champion koi around, like big bags, black boxes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've never used them, but I know there are some like over-the-counter like koi sedatives that they use for transport. That might not be a bad option to look into. I don't know how those affect.
Talk to a
arowana.
vet before you do
Yeah,
anything
talk
like
to a
that.
Yeah.
vet.
This
yeah.
is not us suggesting that you do that. This is suggesting that you look into.
Yeah,
to doing that.
absolutely.
None of us have moved a 2.5-foot arowana before.
No.
Yeah, I think a plastic lined crate like
Yeah,
this
across
might be the,
the
best
country
you can do.
is that's the and
but
then
you'd have to drive it.
keep
across
the
country.
water like I do know for moving koi, like you want them just enough where they're covered.
Yeah.
Because if they jump, they can't get the like lift to jump
Right.
Sure.
Right.
and hit but something like
Yeah,
that.
you
but I
gotta
don't.
push water behind you to get that leverage.
Yeah. So
Think of how uncomfortable you are in a car for 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's okay to have the fish be that uncomfortable for 48 hours, right? as long as the goal is to get it into a good spot. So during transport, comfort is not the main thing. I know that sounds a little harsh, but that's
I wasn't
real,
laughing
right?
at you. I was laughing at Virginia's comment, which is the guy who recommended the Arowana should have to pay Isaiah support payments,
I
like
think you're
child
right.
support for the
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You abandoned this with me. It's your responsibility
Yeah.
too.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, that would
yeah,
be good.
No, that's just a really tough situation. It's
Yeah.
like for any other fish, I'd say, you know what? In this case, just find it a new home and move and get your fresh start. But how do you find it a good home?
You
Yeah.
can't.
And I
No.
think you're already the best possible home for that fish.
That's what I was
Yep.
going to say. I
Yeah.
think he's doing such a good job based off of his description that I get it. He
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't want to rehome the fish.
Yeah, Ohio Fish Rescue would probably take them. They're a pretty popular like
I
zoo.
But
What do
once
you
you made
call
it to the halfway
Yeah.
point, get them the rest
Exactly,
of the way there.
you're already
I
at
also
Ohio.
have kind of strong opinions on that, but we'll save that
Yeah.
for another day.
I think you and I probably agree.
yeah.
They're an organization that likes to display big fish. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
a tough situation. I hope you do well and let us know how it goes.
says he's very nice and he lets his grandma pet him and everything.
Very cool.
Adorable. I do have
Cool grandma.
something cool Missouri Aquarium Society just did is they banned those for sale.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
That was an announcement. Thank you for bringing that up. I was going to make that
That's
announcement.
Wow.
more, and they're putting pressure on stores in their local area.
Yep.
So more clubs should do that exact thing.
So their club philosophy is that they will not endorse or process or allow a sale of any fish that kind of live out its life comfortably in 200 gallons or less. So red-tailed catfish, iridescent sharks, pacus, arowanas, right? All of those fish they're saying no to
They have an addendum for koi, but
Yep.
I-
because they're outside.
and you can have
Interesting.
that's a reasonable thing.
A 2,000-gallon pond is not a huge pond, and that's
It- too small for most koi.
yeah.
Next question.
All right.
This is from Hunter R. And he says he's a huge fan of the podcast and lives in Oregon. He's working on a pair of betta chinoides in a Borneo-inspired biotope.
Cool.
Very
Fun.
cool.
He has a 20 long with a pair, driftwood, petrified wood, and cryptowentai.
'Kay.
He wants to know if there's anything we recommend to add to the diversity of the tank, including invertebrates and plants. I assume that are biotypic.
For Borneo?
Yeah.
If he could get red claw macro shrimp or something
Yeah.
similar.
I was thinking
Would
like
they not eat the bettas? They're so
they
little.
would. I would think like there's the Tenga half beaks, like the really
Ooh.
small.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's
Yeah.
kind
That'd
of a
be
fun
sweet.
combo.
That wouldn't
Yeah.
bug the bettas.
Yeah, something at the top
Yeah.
is nice.
You could swap your crypt out for something like a crypt cordata that'd be biotypic because
Yep.
Wentai is Sri Lankan, and also is found in hard water most of the time.
If you can get some non-wild collected boos,
Yeah.
Hmm
boos is very Borneo.
A lot of Sundadanios. are
Yeah,
great.
so group of Sundadanios would be sweet in that
Mhm.
tank.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That's
Or
the
Boraris. I don't.
Yeah.
There's bound to be a Boraris.
Boraris.
Right
I think they might get eaten by the chinoides.
there. You think?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The other thought I
Yeah.
have too would be one of the cool like Desmopuntus barbs, like that are pretty chill,
Mhm.
interesting. But the half beaks I think would be such a cool like
Yeah, that would never have
like
thought
that.
of that. That's a
'Cause-
great
Yep.
idea.
for like thinking through this tank, like I don't want something that would be like detract from the bettas because like
Yeah.
chinoides are already kind of secretive and they're like if you have like a group of Sundadanios that's going to catch everybody's attention, they're going to look fantastic, but they're going to take away from the bettas I think a little bit.
I mean, honestly, if you could find more males, I would rather
Yeah.
do that than any of it, and just have your reverse harem going with your males and let them fill out the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the Tenga half beaks would be like those are so cool.
Those are amazing.
They are
fish.
they are egg laying half beaks, but
Yeah.
they're neat. We've gotten them here a couple times. They take flake feed pretty well. Only when it's floating, but
Cool. The second half of Hunter's question was.
I just heard the door.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, pause.
I bet it's Robbie. But I'm just gonna go do a little check there for a minute.
You want to grab a second beers?
Yep.
If they're handy.
They are in the fridge right here.
You said that's your cousin? He thinks he's funny, doesn't he?
He's pretty funny.
is he the one that said now this is the premium fish? Okay, that's awesome. I was like, wow, I don't know.
Thank you, listener, for your support.
We do make some premium content. Can you pass that over to Ben?
Yeah. Was it Robbie? Is he coming up to say hi?
Just gotta make sure it's not anyone else.
Yeah. There's been times where the doors open on like a Saturday and I like panic. It's always Ben.
No
But-
one's supposed to be here.
This week it was Robbie, and I didn't recognize Robbie because he wasn't wearing a blue shirt.
Nick
and-
did it too, and he
Yeah,
freaked me out.
Surprised you both.
Everybody came to visit on Saturday because Robbie was here, Charles was here, a bunch of the clubbies were here.
I think we saw everyone we know this weekend.
I know, it's crazy.
What was Robbie doing here?
He was getting fish. I think he got a ram for his biotope.
Cool.
And maybe some more cardinal tetras. I don't remember.
Is everybody ready to jump back in?
All right. Sorry about that interruption. Yes, let's get back to it.
The second half of Hunter's question was, he heard Calder mention something about a blog helping people find biotope information. I've had a couple questions actually for that. Good resources for biotope information?
There's a lot of people that are really dedicated on specific habitats, and they write blogs about them. So that's kind of where I find, like, the blog I've referenced in the past was because I think it was in the Killifish Biotope one. I mentioned In Search of Small Things, which is a blog that mostly is like terrarium plants and dart frogs. But for a while in the mid 2000s, there's a guy named Chuck who was writing for it. You'll see, and he has some really great photos of like Cameroon in the wild. And so a lot of the cool killifish there. But yeah, there's like really dedicated people in like specific habitats. So I think like the key when you're looking for biotope information is to start ignoring the fish and then like search in the world of the location first, and then eventually you'll find somebody who's taking photos of the fish. Like it's
cool.
Yeah, hours of online research. That's
The other thing that you always recommend is iNaturalist.
iNaturalist is your best friend.
Not really a blog, just a social media platform, but
I figured out how much time a week I spend on iNaturalist, and it's 10 hours, which is too many hours on
So
iNaturalist.
much.
But
better than any other social media, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
iNat is a great recommendation. I forgot about that.
yeah,
Lopsided Frogs had a good point that looking at the biological inventories at national parks.
yeah.
Usually, if there's a
That's
national
really
park,
great.
they've got a really great list of what occurs there.
Also, a lot of like fauna, like survey data is open to the public. So like I was just looking for a tank I'm planning out, or for a tub pond I'm planning out, like ichthyofauna of like certain regions in the Western Ghats, and you can find survey transects in those regions, and it's just the list of everything that they found there, and it's really
even
helpful
if you
tools.
just look, Google Scholar search whatever fish you're interested in, there you can often find a paper that also references a bunch of other stuff that was found alongside them.
To be honest, most of the time you will not find a paper written about the fish that you're looking for. You'll find somebody did a survey of ichthyoflora and it's mentioned in the
Yeah,
paper.
it'll be like a little line that includes that might have a list of other things.
We found this barb
Yeah.
here, and you're like, cool. All of these other things occur with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they have like stream zonations and stuff like that, so like you can find out like what actually would be occurring in the habitat where you're looking at. And I think that's like a key in making a good biotope is actually like knowing where your fish are from within habitat. Because like I think a lot of like they look more authentic if you act like
We just had that question about Borneo,
yeah.
right? What do I put in my Borneo biotope for betta chinoides? And you look where betta chinoides comes from, and that's the important part.
Yeah.
Because my first thought goes, oh, well, we get a fish called the Borneo sucker lochin all
Yeah.
the time, and that's not biotypic
Yeah.
whatsoever. It just also comes from that country.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
fish don't respect national lines,
Yeah,
right?
and-
They're from specific
and
environments.
they may even occur in the same stream. They may even occur 50 feet from each other. Just one's in the rifles and one's in on a point bar. And like, if you try to put like smooth rocks in your betta chinoides, you might have a betta chinoides in the riffle, but it's one that's not having a good time right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, like how many body lengths away is 50 feet for a
Yeah,
betta
exactly.
chinoides? Like
Yeah.
that may as well be the next country.
Couple resources that I thought of, and I think Calder might have a couple too, but
Yeah.
there are some like really awesome underwater videographers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Below Water
Yeah.
is the one
Mhm.
you showed me,
Olive
Calder.
Canis.
Andrew Zimmerman does a lot of, I think, North American.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So that's a really good place to get the visual.
Mikoli for South America.
Uh, Aqua Ecosystem Africa. That's Russell Tate. He does really great for like Southern Africa, Sierra Leone, and Angola. So like really like probably the best habitat photos of like clown killies I've ever seen.
Cool.
Some stuff in Cameroon as well. Like there's Fundal Pangex phalanx and stuff.
I also really love to just like search YouTube for the name of like a part of a river or
Yeah.
a lake, and there's gonna be some local that just took like a video where they put something underwater.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of good info from those sometimes.
Sure.
The other thing too is get out of like if you can get out of like the Western dominated like science spaces. Like I think a lot of times for like the U.S. we're looking for like a researcher that's here like. Researcher here in the U.S. that's studying like something out like in India. There's a lot like wherever you're going to look, there's a scientist that works on those areas. Like there's really great researchers in Cameroon and Ghana, and that have better photos, better data than anything you're going to find in like a Western paper.
Especially
So-
considering the funding situation.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Oh, Mean Karan for India, they do a lot of.
oh yeah,
Underwater.
he's fantastic.
And I actually don't recognize Rodrigo Silva, but
I've
somebody
shown you
mentioned
some
that.
videos
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
his. Yeah,
Southeast
he
Asia.
does mostly Thailand. He's got some
Cool.
really good videos of Thailand, like Betta picked out in the wild and stuff like that. Mirkan is probably the best. He's probably the best person for like Indian ichthyofauna in like aquariums. Period. Like his photos are everywhere and they're fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Our listeners are so cool. They know all these people already and more.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready for a fun question?
Those were pretty fun.
Yeah.
You guys ready for like a silly conceptual question?
Yeah.
No Bennis to sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's his answer.
Excuse me.
At least it wasn't a yawn.
Right.
All right. We have a question from Skylar.
Okay.
So she says, you just found a fish genie in a dusty old Fluval 204. As a reward, it grants you one wish. You can go collecting for fish for a month anywhere in the world. Where
For a
would you go
month.
and what would you collect? And she has a number of caveats here.
Okay, let's hear the caveats.
You cannot be harmed in any way for the place that you decide to go.
Okay.
Animal attack, disease, crime, war.
Okay.
The local people will love and give you permission to be there.
Okay.
You will be successful in finding the fish you're looking for.
I like the caveats.
Collecting won't harm local populations or the environment. You have full immunity from import and export laws. Caveats are, you must keep the fish. You can't use the fish to make profit. You can't look for fish that are extinct. All the magic after the collection trip ends. You can't just go and get a great white shark and take it home.
Hmm.
I think I have 3 answers.
Yeah, me too.
Did you include marine locations?
I did.
Because
I-
that makes it hard.
400 meters down.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, you've got like a decompression station under the ocean.
Yeah. You can just spend everywhere at the Mesophytic zone.
Thank you to Will. Will just gifted some memberships again in the
Thank
chat.
you, Will.
Woohoo.
That's awesome.
Well,
Love
we really
that guy.
You rock.
appreciate you.
So, my first, I immediately, I want to go back to Thailand so bad,
Mm.
and so that was like an immediate like, ooh, maybe it's Thailand. I'm having so much fun with wild type bettas right now, and to go see and collect in a place I absolutely love, that's a good possibility. Brunei, which is
Mm.
on the island of Borneo. That is
Yeah.
where Betta macrostoma
Yeah.
is. And there's a couple of other bettas in that group that are only found in Brunei. It is not an easy place to get to and collect. So with Skylar's magic wand, or with the magic from that Fluval 204, actually mine is a 304 by the way, and that's what's running my Take It Home.
Fancy.
But with Skylar's magic wand, the Sultan of Brunei will automatically grant us permission to go collect Betta macrostoma.
Mhm.
And that would be a hard one to say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to go to Sierra Leone and collect clown
That
colors.
had to be up
Right.
there. I
Yeah.
mean, and
So-
it's not the only thing either. There's so many cool
Yeah.
things.
I think if somebody said, "Nope, you have to pick one," I think it would be Thailand,
I think-
because of. But part of that is because I would get to go back to Thailand.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think seeing a macrostoma in person with my own eyes would be like almost spiritual.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just so impressive.
Life changing.
Like, if you look at videos of them in their wild habitat, they just, like, come up to you.
Yeah.
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 They're not afraid. They don't really have many predators there, so they're very friendly.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
really fun to see.
You guys,
I know.
I got specific.
So, yeah, I mean, like, my first instinct is Congo Basin, right? But
Yeah.
I don't have a specific spot or a specific fish I want there. It's just almost everything there is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
The next thought, I did think about Sierra Leone. Sulawesi Lakes.
Oh
Yeah.
that
That
would
would
be
be
cool.
incredible. Like, million different shrimp, million different snails.
Rice fish.
Rice fish.
Yeah.
Tanganyika would be up there.
Must be up there. So like I've been looking. So Tanzania is up there for me,
Mhm.
but it seems so attainable that I wouldn't want to waste the wish. If that makes sense.
Right.
Like you can get there. There's a path there. For me, I think it's Papua New Guinea, rural Papua New
right.
Guinea.
Oh
Mhm.
right.
Where
Rainbow fish trip.
Rainbow fish trip. There's a new fish in every stream, and nobody's been there to collect fish since Jerry Allen in the 80s,
Yeah.
and we know there's good stuff there, and
Yeah.
it is like inaccessible. Like nobody's going there.
That's true. That might be the winner.
way
just
out-
because of that.
Otherwise, like if it was like a blitz, like India would be fantastic. The Western Ghats, Western Eastern Ghats, Bangladesh for the similar reason, and then like Paraguay, Uruguay, like those.
Uruguay's very attainable.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
that's why they were not on there. Same thing
Right.
with Western Ghats. You
Yeah.
can get there. But you cannot get to New Guinea.
I think
Ye-
that's yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have a marine location that comes to mind?
Chagos Island, Cook Islands. It would be really cool to get Amphiprion chagoensis.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist in aquariums. Nobody's ever had it in an aquarium. So
Maybe like Fiji.
I would either want to go get True Onyx perks, or I could just stay in Thailand and get my black Clarks.
see,
Or you get the excuse to go get True Darwins,
yeah,
and you
Yeah,
can't
that's
get eaten
true.
by a crocodile.
That's true.
but you could go to PNG and you could get your rainbow fish and your lightning maroon clown.
Yeah. See, I think I
Mm.
still with Thailand I can get my bettas, I can get
True.
my clownfish.
True.
Oh, but then if I just skip across to Borneo, I bet there are clownfish off the coast of Borneo.
You can get
So
all
maybe
that stuff off the coast of Borneo.
right.
Mhm.
And there's the Sundananios, and
Well, there's
it's somewhere in Southeast
Yeah.
Asia, and if I can go back and visit the elephants in Thailand and collect Clarks, my black Clarks, and then I can still get Ocellaris clowns
yeah.
and a Magnifica anemone, and then go collect Beta imbelis, and actually does Beta cochina
Yeah.
into the Malay Peninsula. Do they
Yeah.
go into Thailand? I don't think they
I
make it
don't
all the
know.
way
I
to
don't think they
Thailand,
get into Thailand.
but they're really close.
They're really
So-
close.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Does this respect? Could you pick like an eco region, and then does that not?
Yeah, go travel for a month in the Thai Peninsula,
Yeah, just pick an eco
Right.
the Malay
region.
Peninsula, and
Do geopolitical borders count?
right.
Do you have to pay for shipping back from Papua New Guinea?
Drift.
I think shipping is part of the magic.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
I
they're-
don't know that there is shipping that you.
I-
It might be a ship actually.
I think you just wake up inside Papua New like,
Yeah.
like the genie just puts you there and brings you back.
The month is what it takes for you to get to where the fish are.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
jet lag. You're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a fun question.
that's a good one. I love it.
This wasn't a question for me, but the first thing that came to my head were Amazon River pike cichlids,
Oh,
that'd be
Mhm.
so cool.
but not the dwarf pikes.
Ah,
the
Yeah.
big ones.
There are some awesome big ones, and I don't even
Mhm.
necessarily want to keep them. I just want to see them.
yeah, I get it.
Go
Fair
fly
enough.
fishing for 'em.
That's what I thought was
Yeah.
actually fishing for them.
That's a
Yeah.
realistic trip
Uh-huh.
It is true. You're
Uh-huh.
right.
if you can afford it.
So is Thailand.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Somebody asked a question in the chat that's kind of good.
We do have a couple of good questions in there,
All
actually.
right, let's hear one of them.
The one that just came up is, how do you anticipate AI affecting the hobby? It already has.
It's flooded the market with incorrect information.
Yeah.
Oh, and I get people in the weekend when I'm trying to talk to them about fish, and they have like ChatGPT on their phone, and they're asking ChatGPT the question they're asking me, and then they're asking me to explain why ChatGPT is wrong now. That
ChatGPT doesn't actually know anything. It's just giving you an answer that it knows looks good, because that's the whole point.
So we did an entire episode on misinformation on the internet and how quickly it shows up when you do a Google search for, let's say, example, the top 10 easiest saltwater fish. And I'm gonna actually poke a little bit here. When we did that Google search for the top 10 easiest saltwater fish to keep in an aquarium, it was just full of crap. Recently, a well-known old guy, not me, who's been in the hobby for a long time, who has the word doctor in front of his name, although I don't believe Tim is a doctor, but I'm not going to say what his name is, was the top 3 hardest fish to keep in aquariums, right? And there's a point to all of this, by the way, to keep in saltwater aquariums. And first he said Morishidal. Okay, sure,
Yeah.
because of feeding and some of those, and there's some discrepancy there, but we're not sure. Then he said batfish because they are black with an orange outline and really hard to keep alive. And I mean, like, what? But you said batfish. You didn't see the orbicular or the pinnatus batfish, right? What is orbicular pinnatus? What's the orange one?
The pinnatus.
Pinnatus, right? Pinnatus batfish. You didn't say the pinnatus batfish as a juvenile. You said batfish.
Yeah.
Orbicular batfish are super easy to keep in an aquarium. You shouldn't because they get way too big. But come on, misinformation.
Yeah.
Then the third one he said, and this is the one that was even the most ridiculous, he said anthenians. Anthenians? What the hell is an anthenian? You mean Antheus? You can't even say the name and you're getting on and pretending to be an expert? And oh, by the way, all of that information is being fed into ChatGTP.
Mm-hmm. If you search your aquarium questions, you're going to get the AI overview, which presumably is being pulled from articles that already exist on the internet. If you click on those sources, which it'll give you exactly where the information comes from, at least half of the time it's referencing another AI-generated article.
Yeah.
So it's just this circular thing that's based on maybe some glimmer of truth or some factoid that came from a forum, came from a blog post, came from an article somebody wrote. AI made an article about whatever information it pooled and then took all the articles AI made and compiled it into a summary that you get to read.
Also,
It's nonsense.
there's this like term AI hallucination. I can't say that word for some reason.
Hallucination.
Hallucination. Thank you. That like, if you feed it a prompt and it doesn't know how to answer it, it will, or can't find the answer, it will just lie. Like it'll just say, because it doesn't want to disappoint
'Cause
you.
it's artificial intelligence. It's
Right.
designed to mimic an intelligence. Anyway.
I have used it. I use it for some things. It's a way to help generate and further a search for actual information. I think it can be used as a tool for that. With anything that you read on the internet, if they're not citing sources, it's incomplete information. That's how I'm going to say that really carefully.
And
right?
just citing sources isn't enough. They have to be good ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Okay, did we answer that question right?
I think we did.
I could go on.
Yeah, me too.
We didn't even get into the environmental impacts, but
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we did,
I
for another day.
Those
don't
aren't
use
going
it for
away.
anything
so.
if I can avoid it. Generally.
All right.
All right, next question, Nick.
Next question. This is from,
So
Devin's in the chat. The art technician, he goes, I sleep well at night knowing AI can't take my job.
that would
like
be
to
one of
see-
our service techs.
I like to see AI do water changes.
Yeah. That was good.
All right. Aiden W says, I'm wanting to build a display 10-gallon refugium next to my 90-gallon reef.
'Kay.
Any idea on how best to make this work and how to plumb it? I plan on having a pistol shrimp and a watch goby pair in the 10-gallon.
This is going to be next to your reef.
I assume by refugium, though, they mean they want it plumbed in.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to have a 10-gallon tank that's got an overflow built into it, or build an overflow into it. So it's got to be a drilled 10-gallon tank.
Does anyone make a drilled 10-gallon tank?
There are some of the like pre-made tanks that are around 10 gallons that are drilled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have drilled 10-gallon tanks and put overflows in them. It's challenging because that glass is so thin, it breaks easily.
Yeah. You can put an entire 10-gallon tank in a tub of water, and that makes it a little easier.
That's true. So my challenge was not necessarily drilling. I got to the point where I could drill them
Yeah.
really well. Hooking up the plumbing and then
Without
bumping it
cracking anything?
and cracking it
Oh.
is challenging. It's not impossible, but it's doable. But in order to do that right, you do need to have some kind of an overflow built into the system. Build it into the side, not into the bottom. The bottom of the 10-gallon tank, you need to do a standpipe if you build it into the bottom, and that basically is just a lever to break stuff. So do it in the side. You do it a trickle. Do a smaller overflow. You don't want a ton of water flowing through, because the bigger the bulkhead that you have to put into that, the more risk you have to the side of the tank.
Probably try to soft plumb it too.
I always soft plumb. Soft plumb it. Yeah, don't hard plumb that, because you want that flexibility. The Eclipse overflows from eShops, that comes with a pretty big bulkhead, but if you're putting those two pieces of acrylic and squeezing them next to each other, that could help protect that pane of glass a
Yeah.
little bit. I haven't done it that way, but that might be a way that I would try it.
Those overflows are so loud, though.
They are. It's going to be noisy. Yeah, it's going to be noisy.
It is going to be a noisy
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
I think regardless.
But
It's
is it like you plumb it so that it overflows from the big tank into the 10 and then into the sump?
I would not do it that way.
How would you do it?
I would do it with a separate pump or a valve, or a split
Yeah.
feed line that you can control
Mm.
to the 10-gallon tank.
I wonder if you could plumb it like a closed loop. Like, well, it wouldn't be a closed loop, but like, it just put a pump inside the 10-gallon tank, and then have the overflow, like create a valve on the overflow of your main display, and have the overflow run into the tank. So then you don't have to drill the 10-gallon tank.
Oh, so the 10-gallon is the sump?
Yeah, the 10-gallon kind of acts as its own little sump. So you just plumb it independently.
No, because you cannot control
Yeah,
precisely how much water is flowing into
True.
that 10-gallon tank. Right?
Yeah.
If you are off by a milliliter
yeah,
per hour,
it's gonna
it's
flood.
undetectable. Eventually, it's going to flood or dry out. One
Yep.
of the two, right?
Honestly, the better compromise is just do the water changes from your big tank to the little tank. And it's a
I don't know. I
refugium
would
that
do
way?
it.
I
I would do it.
I would just drill it like Ben Tevin.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
put you set up your let's say 90-gallon reef tank with your sump,
Mm-hmm.
and either get a slightly larger return pump or a separate return pump, and you just feed the 10-gallon like it's another tank.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what is one of the Seache Sinker .5s like? I think they're like $20.
No, they're a
No,
little more
they're
than
not
that, but
more
not
than
bad.
that.
They're like
Okay.
$40.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, though, you're doing like a big ancillary project, so you
Yeah.
may as well spend a little cash on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the idea of a display refugium. Be fun.
Wow.
there's a-
Mike is saying that he drilled 5 2.5 gallons.
Oh, Ben and I cracked a handful of those
Yeah.
5.5s when we were building a project.
Yeah,
Wow.
2.5 is brave.
it is brave.
Um,
But the glass on a 2.5 and a 10-gallon are actually very similar, and I think that's the same thickness of glass.
Yeah, they make it out of like scrap. So
Yeah.
That little panel is just so tiny to drill on.
Yeah.
yeah. If you want a good example of this, Julian Sprung's like home reef tank is plumbed like this.
It's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. It's been up for a long time too. He has no instructions on how to do it, but if you want a cool picture, see one.
I could write out the diagram. So if you want to email me, email Nick info at
Oh, info at watercolors.shop.
And then that'll get to me, and I can draw a diagram of how I would set this one up.
Everything must be auto water change.
Ready for the next one?
Yes, let's do it.
This is 3 separate questions from Barry D. I think he's
Okay.
also in the chat today.
Excellent.
So he says, for Ben,
Uh-oh.
would you be willing to start raising Moena if I told you there was an easier way to feed them? And he linked a scientific paper titled Human Urine is an Human urine is an excellent liquid waste for the culture of fish food organisms, Moena micrura.
You know,
Are you tempted?
No. Next question.
That
you can
sold me.
just get the ADA nitrogen fertilizer. It's
Yeah, there we
basically
go.
the same thing.
Right.
I think he gets 2 points for that, personally.
Yeah.
It's, he linked it to a scientific paper,
know-
so he gets some points for that for sure.
That's a good way to use your extra nitrogen.
Yeah.
We just flush that down the
It'd
toilet.
also be
That's
a
just
lot
waste.
easier than having to run downstairs and use the bathroom every
Yeah.
couple hours. So
That's what we'll do with that barrel.
that's my RO barrel.
But
Back off, buddy.
It's your more than barrel now.
I forgot to mention this in the beginning of the episode, but typically on listener questions episodes, we give out a free T-shirt.
Yeah, you just reminded me that we're supposed to be figuring out which one is the best.
There you go. Keep that
Yep.
in the back of your mind.
Yep.
And we'll send out a T-shirt to
We
somebody.
could write off the beer.
We already do.
Oh, okay.
This is business.
Duh.
Next from Barry D. His next 2 are much more serious, so wrangle,
All right.
That's great.
Let's
it in.
get serious.
Much has been discussed on the podcast about the poor survivability of certain reef fishes.
Yeah.
However, where does that break down as aquarium size increases? Tanks like Polar Reef, which is a YouTuber, I believe,
Yep.
And others seem to have long-term success with groups of anthias and damsels. But that's an extreme outlier in size and is unlikely to be replicated.
How long and how often do they replace them?
Polar Reef has a 20,000-gallon reef tank.
He said he's not arguing, he's just genuinely curious if it's
Yeah.
possible for larger tanks that are somewhat attainable from people in a higher income bracket to have group sizes and maybe skirt some of these rules that we often apply to reef tanks.
Sure, and here's the reason. If you've got a 20,000-gallon reef tank, you have a massive filtration system, and you can feed the hell out of it.
They have staff. Like,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can get closer to their actual wild circumstances,
Yeah.
which is tons of fish, constant food. Right?
yeah. Like,
yeah,
I mean, public aquariums pull these displays off all the time.
Right.
It's not. I don't think.
With a constant feed of brine shrimp.
yeah,
Right.
like I don't think the point has been like possibility for like home aquarius. I think is the more real. This is the reality here. Like it's just not something that people can do.
Here's all right. So let's break this down. Right. Let's say I want to do a 180-gallon tank, and I want 15 anthias, and I want 15 chromis, green chromis, and I want 15 yellowtail blue damsels in this tank. Right.
Yeah.
How do we realistically pull it off? Here's how I would do it. Someone say, "All right, I will give you a $10 million prize. You have an unlimited budget. Okay, but let's go with a relatively limited budget. But you get a huge prize if you pull this off." Here's the way that I would attempt to do it: 180-gallon aquarium with a 3,000 or 4,000-gallon filtration system.
Yeah.
And I would feed that tank I would flood that tank with food every couple of hours, maybe even every hour. Not a ton of, no, a lot of food. A lot of food. A massive flow, flood the tank, massive filtration system with massive water changes to make up for it.
I think mine would be more or less the same thing, but I do it a different route. I would use because I've thought about a tank for the Purple Queen, like Pseudoanthias tuca.
Yeah.
Although I think it might have a new genus now. I do like live baby brine shrimp seems to be the only reliable food source for that fish
Right.
in aquariums. And I would try to make like live baby brine shrimp at a constant drip and use that as an auto water change,
Yeah.
and then just have 30 of them in like
Okay,
a
now you
75.
let's take that one step further.
Yeah.
What if it was one of the other easily cultured pods?
So I've thought about there. I don't think there's a pod that you can culture like that's worth the effort over baby brine shrimp at the scale. Like the amount of pods you'd have to be producing to feed them, it's just
But instead of a 2,000 gallon filtration system for my 180,
Yeah.
what if I have a 2,000 gallon plankton producing system?
So I don't think that would work out the way, because you'd have to fertilize the microalgae to then feed your copepod cultures are going to be too dirty for your fish, more or less.
You still need the algae. You still need the dirty water
so-
to make the algae.
Right.
That's the thing, and then that's the thing I run into. So then you either have to dedicate an entire system to culturing copepods, or you hatch out baby brine shrimp and then you mix that into like an auto. Like you wouldn't want to use the water you hatch the brine shrimp in, but you could put the baby brine shrimp in like clean salt water and have that as a constant drip, and that's my like solution I have.
Right.
So, and at one point you have to dose Celcon during the day to keep
Yeah.
nutrients up. So
But that's dosing. That's just a dosing pump.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
make a refrigerated dosing pump. And
yeah, like that,
Yeah.
that's where I landed. But
At this point, like they said in the comments, this is billionaire territory.
or I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even think this is billionaire.
I think this is
When we're talking the 20,000 gallon
Right.
tank
Yeah,
with all
yeah,
this
absolutely.
stuff, right? It's
But,
just
like-
it's a fantasy.
this is something that like if somebody was really dedicated and set this tank up and then never took a vacation ever and was
Yeah.
prepped for it and hired a
Yep.
staff, and I think you could do it. Like
Yeah.
You are running a private public aquarium. at
yeah,
that
like
point.
and that
But here's the truth that I believe about big tanks with a lot of fish that look great, that have a ton of fish in them. They're still losing fish.
so they are
If you have 20 Anthias and you lose one a year, you're not really gonna know.
so my
Yeah.
only pushback on it is public aquariums have to keep track. So like there's
True.
really good data that they are successful and they have longevity with these fish. It's just the like
If you're in that tier where you're like the 200 to 400 gallon tank that has 20 chromas
You're-
and 20 Anthias,
those people are replacing their fish. Like, and they talk about it. They're open about it. The other thing to keep in mind too, with like reefing influencers or whatever, like these, that is not the same as your home tank. That is not so much a hobby for them as it is their job. Like,
Right.
and their job is to look like an aquarium expert.
yeah,
Even if it's an honest person, even if, you could even say that about us, right?
sure.
Like, we share the parts of what we do that we want to share with you. We try to be open about our failures. We try to be open. But, of course, there's things that we're not going to talk about on
Yeah.
air. There's always going to be. And we try to make a point to be honest.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who just want to look really good, too.
yeah.
And I'm not talking about the specific influencer that you guys mentioned. That's I don't even know who that is.
He a billionaire who hires a staff to run quarantine and run his aquariums.
Right.
He owns a public aquarium. It's a private public aquarium. That's
Right.
what that is. Like that's the scale they're doing. They have fish vets and like that. That is the scale there. It's not something anybody could replicate at home.
Yeah, and I've never been able to come up with a rule for Anthias because eventually some other Anthias is going to want to be male. Like,
Yeah.
you can't get away from that. When it comes to, like, Chromis, I think you can plan around, like, each individual or pair needing a specific territory because they're going to be more associated to that. But Anthias, their lifestyle isn't like anything
No.
else.
It's like the same thing with like wrasses, like pairs of
Yeah.
wrasses groups. It's just, like like if you watch like nature documentaries on wrasses, and you see male wrasses fighting, they are trying to kill each other, and like
Yeah, your super male Anthias, your super male Wrasse, is theoretically doomed, right?
yeah, that's the end of its life.
and it could
right?
live in your tank for a very long time, but like in those hierarchies, it's meant to be pushed off.
Yeah,
That's just how it works.
if it
I hadn't thought
didn't,
of that.
it wouldn't work that way. Like if
Right.
it didn't, the
Yeah.
system wouldn't work. Like
Yeah.
eventually, a new fish is going to need to breed in the reef. Like genetics are going to need to be shifted. So like biologically, this has to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I never thought about it like that.
Terminal sex.
Yeah.
Say again?
Terminal sex.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think Anthias and Wrasses are the two really good examples of that.
this is also on a rant too. This is why clownfish harems make no sense biologically. Even the species that form harems in the wild, even age groups make no sense. Like eventually they're gonna have to. It's like our saddleback group. We lose a female saddleback eventually. Like
Yep.
each female lasts about a year. Once she's the female.
Sort of why humans kind of work their way out of feudalism. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a society that is meant not to work.
Exactly.
So that's not what we're really trying to replicate in our tanks.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Last question from Barry is for Calder. If you could quickly weigh in on, you said you mentioned once that copepods are a ripoff for reef tanks. Could you expand on that? Do you mean dedicating cultures and feeding copepods, or just buying the jars and dumping them in?
So a lot of copepod sellers market them as additional biological fauna to add to your tank, or you add them to your tank one time and it solves a problem for you.
And you're talking about the bottled.
I'm talking about
Copepod
specifically the
products.
bottle. I think if you want to buy those, culture those, and use those as supplemental food, and you're culturing them in a separate tank, that is awesome, and you should do that. They are not a product that you can open your tank, dump in there, and expect that those copepods are going to do well and breed. Like, if you look at how to do it at a culture, like, there's a reason you can't just put them in a 10-gallon tank and end up with more of them. Like, you have to dedicate food. You have to have certain levels of essentially like algae per milliliter of water to like achieve actual breeding success. So it's crazy to me that these companies are marketing these copepods that are grown for aquaculture as like you can put that in your tank and then it just breeds in there and you're fine. Like, it's just such a ripoff to people.
It's just an extension of the whole Dragonet scam.
Yeah. And it's, what do you mean $20? Like, it's like there's people that buy them and put them in their tank $20 a week to feed their Dragonets. And like at that point, hatch baby brine shrimp. That is what you're feeding. Like, I feel pretty strongly on this.
Predator prey tanks don't work, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Sure.
Imagine if you've ever had a pufferfish. You know, it's like, oh, if I put enough snails in there, the snails will reproduce and establish a population. No, they're going to go kill all the snails.
Animals don't know when their next meal will come.
Yeah.
Right.
So they are driven to eat as much as they can.
Also, some of these species aren't necessarily tropical copepods. Most of them are pelagic copepods. I think most of the time when you dump that bottle, whatever doesn't get eaten by your fish ends up in your sump and then gets killed by your pump. So, yeah.
Extra scam.
Extra scam.
All right, moving on. In the chat, user Buick asks, any information on Tenacara candidae? We have those on occasion. They're
Yeah.
really,
Yes.
really cool fish.
I love them.
And we kept a pair for a while. Like, we actually worked with this fish for a
We
while.
kept a pair for a couple of months. And honestly, it's the end that a lot of people experience the Taniacara candidae. I think they're very similar to Apistogramma,
Yep.
which are often really difficult to get to pair to the point of breeding, but they are even more aggressive.
And I think often it's the female
Yeah.
Oh,
as the aggressor.
always.
In
Always,
both
yeah.
Always.
genera, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's her like saying, I'm ready to raise my babies and I don't want any threats in this environment.
Yep.
And the male is included in that. She doesn't know.
They are pricey, but they are attainable. We often keep them when we have them in pure RO.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous. I would say if you're interested in projecting them, have maybe a mesh box on standby or a separate tank even to separate.
We've had
Yeah.
We have locals, that
That
have
breed 'em.
successfully bred them.
Yeah.
So
And
it's achievable.
What they do is they keep their pair separate. When they see the females ready to breed, they put them together and they spawn, and then they're paying attention to when those eggs are around. The second those eggs are there, they take the male out, and they've raised quite a few fish that way. It's just
Yeah, they're
That's
just
what you
never
gotta
going to
do.
be your happy little pair that's
No.
going to just
That
be
Right.
best buddies.
Coexist
Yeah.
long term, yeah.
I think though a lone male of these, even a lone
Oh.
female, it's like a lone male would display
That's
excellent in
killer
like a
fish.
20 long. Like that'd be great.
It is a very cool fish.
It's
I
an
love
awesome
them.
fish.
That
Yeah.
and a nice black water leaf litter setup with some, I don't know, those Weitzmanni tetras
Yeah.
or something like that.
Oh, the way the males like angle themselves and they're just the
Just
best.
one of
Cool
the most
fish.
beautiful fish.
Shout out Simon, a friend who's local who did successfully breed them.
Yep. Good job, Simon.
All right. Next question is from our very own Maddie, our newest team member.
Hey, Maddie.
Wow.
Ooh.
She says, if you were to die and have your body eaten by fish, what fish would you choose and why?
Like
It was a
Am I-
toned down version of the version I got today, which was what fish do you want to kill you? But
am I alive and getting eaten by the fish, or do I die and then I just get to like get eaten by
I
something?
think it's that.
Okay.
It basically, to me, the question comes down to which ecosystem would you like your remains to be pooped into?
Yeah.
You're a whale fall.
I want to just like sink into a peat swamp and become a part of it.
Be a bog body.
Yes. It's gonna be like the scene from The Lord of
That's
the Rings,
exactly
just
what
my
I
face underneath the surface as you're walking by. There's a bunch of little bettas crawling in and out of my eyes.
God.
I'm going harsh and going the other way in oceanic white tip.
Nice.
Mm,
Fair.
Nice.
Fair.
Yeah.
Long nose sucker.
Take your time.
I love them. They might be my favorite fish ever.
It's a bold claim.
They're great. I love seeing them out in the lakes.
Throw me in one of those spa ponds and just let me get nibbled to death
By the garas.
By the Garufa.
It just keeps scraping and
See-
scraping and scraping.
You could just put me in Miners River by Pictured Rock National Lakeshore. They'd swim up there. They'd eat me, and that'd be a pretty good spot to be a dead body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You sound like you've given this some thought.
Yeah.
How about hagfish? Have we factored hagfish into
Oh,
this
Oh,
equation?
no.
Whale fall.
Yeah.
On that note, next we have some questions from Gus. Gus suggests an episode for us.
Okay.
Fish that don't need heaters, cichlid edition. He
Oh,
proposes
yeah.
the fish that kickstarted this idea for him, and that was the Texas cichlid.
Sure.
A lot of the Central
I love
American
Texas
cichlids actually
cichlid.
like.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really overdue for a central. Well,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
we
we
could
haven't
call
done
it a
that.
North American cichlid
Yes!
episode.
Right. I like that.
There's now like 5 species of Texas cichlid. It got split up.
Yeah.
Although you were also recently upset about that episode anyway, about our no heater fish
I was.
episode.
I listened to the
Because you
no.
wanted it to be a cold water fish
No,
episode.
not even. It's just the.
This is a product of you two working Sunday shifts together and just ranting.
Oh yeah.
listen to the. Do you remember your choices?
Oh.
What do we mean? Neon Tetra.
Oh, that was Charles.
Yeah.
That was not us.
You gotta take it
And
up
you
with
had
him.
some too. Luminatus. Like there was. Sorry, Ben.
Not really fully tempered.
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
have Luminatus
Yeah,
Rainbow
you
on there. I
did.
did?
Yeah.
I'll listen to that again.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
There are a lot of fish. I was like, I mean, I guess, but like, they're like.
Are you sure you're not mixing up the tub pond episode
No,
and the no heater
no,
episode?
I listened to the no heater episode like last week, and it was like a lot of them are fish that I'd be like, I mean, I guess, but you're like the 70 degrees is a no heater fish for you,
Yeah.
Yeah. Room temperature tank.
but like
Not a cold tank.
but most people's room. We live in Michigan. Most people's room temperature tanks are below 65.
No, they're not.
No.
Yeah, they are.
No.
Calder, are you
Hell
heating
no.
your apartment sufficiently?
No.
I don't heat my apartment in the winter.
This is
kind
a
of-
you problem, Ben.
65.
I don't know.
Whose house
no.
is 65? That's freezing.
I think
College students saving the ball.
yeah. You should re-listen to the podcast though. I think your list would change.
Oh, I'm sure it would change, but
Yeah.
But
No, my room temperature is 72.
Yeah.
That's the official room temperature.
That
Oh,
feels,
yeah.
We all
crazy.
decide.
That feels
that
kind
feels crazy.
68 is like
I agree.
is where maybe where I'll settle for. Which that means your tank is probably 65.
I'll listen to it again.
Yeah. Like
I think
see,
you're just,
there's people defending me in the comments.
I
Those
think you're
people
being
are
mean.
wrong.
They're not wrong.
Yeah.
We live in Michigan, guys. It's cold out.
I have a thermostat. I keep myself comfortable.
I have old radiators. I
Hey,
can't.
If you have radiators, you should be able to keep it steamy.
It depends.
All right,
I
moving
love
on.
having radiators.
Moving on, friends. Some questions from Arwen, who's a good friend, a regular listener.
Hey, Arwen.
She has a silly question, and
She usually tries to come up with
they're
something
actually
to
all
throw
pretty
us.
silly. Yep.
Okay.
She says, if you were a building, what building would you be?
I don't wish to be a building.
Calder would be a 1950s apartment with an old radiator.
I was thinking the 1950s brutalist college campus building.
Oh, that's good.
Sweet.
That'd be
I like
good.
the natural resource building at MSU is the best building ever.
I like brutalist architecture.
Yeah.
That's a good.
All
You could be like the Space Needle or something. You get a little active building. But you can still move.
Ben, you have to answer. Don't think too hard.
A hut somewhere in a jungle.
I was gonna actually.
Perfect.
I was about to say that for you. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Next from Arwen, what insects have you eaten on purpose?
oh,
This is a
so
question for
many.
I think I've only ever eaten one on purpose. So you go first.
So
I'm sure I've had a cricket.
I have a lot. I used to work at a nature center, volunteer at a nature center, and I used to eat bugs all the time. But also, I worked at a pet store, and I was 16, and there was an older employee who I was in charge of at 16, but he was like, "I'll pay you $300 if you eat one of all the feeder insects."
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
$300.
Would that include a mouse?
no, it's just the
Insects.
bugs.
Oh, just
so
the
it
bugs.
was a dubia roach, it was a super worm,
Oh, I couldn't
a
do the
hornworm.
super. Oh,
And I
A
take it you did
cricket.
it.
Oh, without like immediately. Like, it was like-
Wait. Was this a 1-by-1 thing?
yeah,
or
just
was
one,
this like
one by
Salad?
one, one by one. The worst one was the hornworm because
yeah,
it
I was
popped.
gonna say,
Yeah.
like, how juicy.
It was also
I've
furry.
watched enough lizards eat hormones to know what happens when you bite into one.
But
you got paid
concussion.
$300 to
no,
have lunch.
he tried to back out, and then my boss made him. So it was awesome.
back out and paying you?
Yeah, he was like, I wasn't serious.
What a snake.
I was like, I did it, and you watched me do it. And yeah,
Wow.
hornworm taste. Like, have you ever had like a bad piece of lettuce?
Oh,
Like when they get a little
yeah.
slimy.
Funky and rotted.
It was like that, but boba, and then the boba had like fur on it, and then it grabbed your tongue with its crochets.
Oh,
See,
fun.
somebody said hornworm feet are so gross, but I thought the superworm feet are worse. They're like
It was so
Pokey.
salty.
salty.
Somebody says the complete lack of surprise that Calder has a list of
And then like I've got cricket flour in my apartment right now.
Okay. I have eaten a termite in Belize.
Awesome.
It tasted like if you'd take a carrot and you'd soak it in cedar.
Yeah. Yes, I had a similar
Earthy.
experience.
Yeah, earthy, but their carrot taste was there. Earthy, woody.
So
it was
not,
pretty good.
Not that bad, yeah.
No,
Ants
it was fine.
taste like-
I would eat it.
Ants taste like lemon because of the formic acid.
Oh, fun.
Mealworms kind of taste like peanuts.
Okay.
So do
Okay.
crickets, to be honest.
Huh.
I had a
Superworms are just
scorpion
super
once.
You
salty.
ate a scorpion?
That's awesome.
Was it in a lollipop?
Sorry, Amy.
No.
It's insects that we're talking about.
Sorry, Cody.
Nope. I ate a scorpion in a food market in China.
Honestly, that's badass.
Tip for eating bugs: kill them first. They bite back.
The scorpion was dead.
All right, somebody clip that. That was a good snippet.
That was good. All right.
All right, we got to keep chipping away.
Yep. What do we got?
We could talk about bugs all night.
Lastly, she didn't realize that was going to be such a loaded question.
That's
Yes,
fun.
she did.
Acorn weevils are pretty tasty. I eat those on the regular.
But this is going to be a bonus episode for all of our subscribers.
'Kay.
All the bugs that callers eat.
Yeah, I got maybe like 40. I don't know.
If I stop talking, he'll keep going. So,
Right. so- quick, Nick. Next question.
Before we know it, we're rolling right into Roachcast.
Yeah. Yes.
Arwen asks, if you were going to set up a no-fish saltwater tank, maximum 10 gallons with no budget, what would you build?
I mean, I'm literally doing that right now.
My mantis shrimp tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm setting up a 10-gallon no-fish tank for a pair of Neogonodactylus.
My Neogonodactylus is in a 10-gallon as in a 5-gallon no fish tank.
Yeah. I think stomatopod is.
It's hard.
Yeah,
to
because if I can't have fish in it, right? I would. I love pistol shrimp, but I can't have fish, and that combination that I love so much.
A pair of skunks would be another really fun thing to do.
A big hermit crab.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love my hermit crab.
A condylactus with Peterson's cleaning shrimp.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but I think a stomatopod.
Yeah.
It's just the ultimate pet. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think I'd probably just do fill it a third with rubble and just see what happens.
Yeah.
You've done that here at the shop. Those are always fun.
Yeah, they are really fun.
Yep.
Wow, the chat got fired up when we talked about bugs.
I love it.
If I did
Be right back
Roachcast,
after
I would
these
do
messages.
Bug of the week.
Bug of the week.
I'd eat a
All right,
bug
Calder.
every week.
You have.
Oh, you'd eat
you-
a bug every week.
I'm going to set a timer. You have 2 minutes. This is Roachcast trial episode.
What do you want to know about roach? Okay.
2 minutes. This is your show, man.
Top 5 roaches.
Top 5 roaches. Okay. So Thera that entire genus. Those are the domino roaches. They're mimics of a large carabid ground beetle. They hunt. They're cool.
They don't scavenge. They.
So
what do
no,
they-
sorry.
what do they
The
eat?
carabids
Oh, I
are
see.
are predators, so they mimic carabids. It's really cool. If you want to go on a rant, like a internet wormhole, look up carabid, like ground beetles. Awesome group of insects. Termites, like I can't pick a termite, but maybe some of like the Pacific dampwood termites are pretty cool.
I thought
Those-
this was
Is a termite a
Roachcast.
roach?
Termites are roaches,
I
guys.
didn't know.
Termites are cockroaches that decided to form a superorganism. They are so rad. Yeah,
Well, that adds up.
I'm learning a lot on Roachcast.
Yeah.
Episode 1. so-
probably hissing cockroaches. You can pick any of the species, but maybe Princessa as a genus. I think they're the prettiest ones.
Those are cool pets.
They make noise by pushing air out of their spiracles. They have little mites that live on top of them.
I don't like any of those things you just said.
There's the
Those are the upsides.
the Table Mountain cockroach, which is a endemic cockroach to Table Mountain in South Africa. I went and found them. There's a really, they're endangered. I have a photo on my Instagram somewhere of a one on. Oh, maybe I took it down actually. There's one on my face. I was it's so ecstatic to find it.
Big Roach guy.
Big roach guy, and then maybe like the roach that started all the roaches is the green banana roach, Palcora nevea, which isn't actually that species anymore. Somebody figured that out.
10 seconds.
It's great. Oh no,
One more.
one. I did 5.
Is that 5?
I think I did 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
There's some really great roaches out there. Pacific beetle mimic. They give milk. They treat milk out of their leg joints to feed their babies.
There's an image in my head that I really just
And that
need to
was-
clear out.
You should have ended on a higher note. 'Cause now I'm not interested in Roachcast episode 2.
And then the bug of the week is doobie roaches. I don't recommend eating them. They're way too crunchy.
But if you were to,
If I were to, it'd be in a stir fry, I think.
thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
image.
Ben missed Roachcast episode 1.
I'm gonna on future episodes that we're on together
Yeah.
during breaks. I'm gonna set a 2-minute timer, and I'm gonna give you a topic just unprompted and let you go.
Yeah.
Roach milk really did not need to be addressed.
Hey, he made.
I'm
good
gonna
use of
bottle
2
it and
minutes.
sell it.
He took those 2 minutes
Would
and
it
he
be
ran with it.
more expensive per volume than printer ink?
Yeah. It'd be maybe I could even market it as grass fed. I could upcharge
Ooh.
for it.
Or you could feed it whatever you want. Probably it's a
Yeah,
roach.
it's really whatever. The ones I had, I used to feed dog food.
Lovely.
These roaches only eat caviar.
Now-
$10,000.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
The roaches do not have nipples. It's out of their leg joints.
It's really hard to turn that off. Like just hard stop.
It's one of those squares and rectangles.
We need a really
things.
serious
If
question
you
here, Nick.
have nipples, you can be milked, but you don't necessarily. You weren't there for that part of it.
Ben, we have a lot of fun when you leave the room.
Apparently,
Yeah. All right. Next, we have some questions from Lauren G.
all right.
And she says, I have a sand cap over fluval stratum in a tank I set up about 2 months ago. Through the glass, I can see small pockets of what looks like gas forming in the stratum. Is this anaerobic buildup? Is this normal? When I plant anything in the substrate, should I be ready to respond with a large water change?
Yes, no.
Yes, it's normal. Yes, that is what you think it is. No, it's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
And
Um,
why do people keep capping stratum?
They don't like the look of the stratum.
Put more plants in it.
get mesh bags of soil and put whatever substrate you want on top.
Also,
That
Yeah.
works too.
my complaint I hear every week about stratum is that it is so hard to plant it because it's so light.
Yeah, it's so
Kinda true.
fluffy
Okay.
and plants
Yeah.
don't stay down. So,
Fair.
like, I get it, but also it's gonna be mixed. 2 months, if you've made it this far, you've done pretty good.
Yeah.
Next from Lauren. She says, I can't bring myself to buy catappa leaves when I have an entire deciduous forest outside my window.
Fair.
If I wanted to put some leaves into my tank, would an oak or beech tree be appropriate?
Absolutely.
That was our whole episode last week.
Cool.
You'll
that,
like it.
that one will be coming out soon.
We had a question in the chat about fiddler crabs before we devolved into bug talk.
Roachcast.
What do you think about them? I think they're cool.
I do too.
If you're gonna do a crab, solid crab.
Good crab.
Good crab.
A+ crab.
Title. Give them mud. They need mud. That's what they filter. So
Give them a little bit of land.
maybe do like a tide system where you have like a pump on a timer. That'd be cool.
That'd be really fun.
Have you seen the mud skipper person online?
Yes.
I want mud skippers now.
It's such a good tank. Like,
Yes.
If you're the mud skipper guy, talk to us.
I think
we
it's a
want-
woman.
We want to interview you. Oh, excuse me. We want to interview
But I'm
you.
not sure. But yeah. Have you seen this, Nick?
I might
She
be thinking of somebody
Comes
different.
up, she snaps, and the mud skippers
Oh,
come
no.
skipping along.
Yeah.
Aw.
I've just seen like title style.
Yeah,
tanks
they're
for
just
mud
these
skippers.
floppy, happy little monsters that come tromping forward.
You guys.
I love
They're
them.
just like me.
Yes.
I think it's so cool that mud skippers, like in the last like 2 years, like there's been an entire like internet turnaround in how they should be kept. Very rare do I find an article that says you shouldn't have them in a mud tank. Aside from the older articles, like, and that's what I see people set up for them online, even like influencers now. I'm very happy about
That's
it.
awesome.
It's great to see them getting the right kind of love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they do deserve their own little place.
How available are mud skippers?
Super.
Because
Yeah,
if
we
you
can
want
get
to talk about like a crazy specialty display tank for us to have in the gallery that would inspire people to
Ooh.
invest into like a big build, that would be pretty groundbreaking. Like I think people would walk in, see that, and their gears would start turning.
We could do it pretty cheaply too, Ben. Please.
Well, I will look into the
Ben, please,
ethical
please, Ben,
and
please.
Please,
feasibility study.
I don't even want to, like, if he's going to look into it, I don't want to talk him out of it. But also, it is a very expensive tank of mud.
Yes.
I'll come up with a pitch for him.
Yeah.
All right. Come up with the pitch.
Me and Calder will spend our own personal paychecks.
Oh, okay, then. Great.
Never
Never mind. Go for it.
I'll buy the mud skippers, but I
mean,
won't.
they're just universally loved. You see
True.
them and you love them.
That's true.
Yep.
Next from Lauren, she said, "I've read on social media warnings about water not being well oxygenated enough, with just an air stone or sponge filter, and that having numerous plants can, quote, starve your fish of oxygen during overnight. Is this a concern for only heavily stocked tanks? At what point is a hang on the back filter not enough to agitate the surface of the water?"
Yeah, heavily stocked tanks.
Yeah,
And heavily stocked, overfed.
Yeah.
I think that a properly managed, even heavily stocked planted aquarium, it's not going to be a problem. I think this is a overfed, mismanaged aquarium.
yeah. A lot of food in the bottom rots, and that strips oxygen away. Like,
Yeah.
But I don't think having more plants makes it more likely for you to have an oxygen issue. If
No.
anything, it's going to improve it.
so if you think like, I think this might be like a misunderstanding of how like eutrophic lakes work, where like eventually like the plant matter builds up in a lake so much that like it can strip the lake can be stripped of oxygen.
And
But,
that can happen in tanks
That
too.
can happen in
but
tanks too. Planted tanks with a lot of like decaying plant matter, that absolutely could happen. But
if you had a
that's
tank that
just
was like
not
a
our
brick
aquarium.
of hornwort that had a bunch of hornwort leaves decomposing
Yeah,
underneath
that-
it.
Yeah, I think this question is not about decaying plant matter. I think this is a question about it's so fully planted. Those plants are producing oxygen during the day,
Yes.
and then at night there's so many plants in the tank that they're respirating and producing CO2 at night. And I don't see it.
I've
I
never.
think the bigger problem there is how much detritus is going to collect under your really, really, like if your plant tank was so densely planted that it would cause that, you'd have other issues way
Yeah,
before
like
that.
I don't think I've ever seen an aquarium
Your fish
with
wouldn't be
that
able to move.
No.
problem. Like I think about my like tub ponds this summer. Like they were one of my tubs didn't have any water movement at all in it, and it was just jam full of rice fish and
Yeah.
plants. Like never, and rice fish can kind of survive in that surface skim of water, but like there's.
I want to
way.
delve into this one a little bit more. Nick, can you just read that question? Like, where are they getting this from?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to have heard.
It-
Yeah.
I've never even I've
Just
never
just
heard this
read it
before.
as it's
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
She says, I've read on social media warnings about water not being well oxygenated enough without an air stone or sponge filter.
Without, okay.
Maybe I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe I misspoke the first time. And that having numerous plants can quote starve your fish of oxygen overnight during respiration.
So here's where I'm thinking. I think I'm totally calling bullshit. I think this is people that don't really know what they're talking about. Combining a bunch of information and trying to pretend to be an expert. There are a couple of situations where I have seen that happening, and that is if you are running a Planet Aquarium with a CO2 system and your CO2 system overreacts a little bit at night or is turned up a little bit too high, that could happen. I do not think it's possible for you to have an aquarium with a filter, densely planted, and have the plants use up all the oxygen at night. I would dare say, nope, never has happened.
If you have
ever.
a hang on the back filter that's also causing, no.
Even, no.
Yeah, no.
I
No.
feel like I've heard Calder mention this in some capacity before.
It definitely is possible. So, like, our plants at night are so plants all the time are respirating, right?
Yeah.
A lot of but so in theory, if you have enough plant biomass, like, it is a possible thing. I just have never seen somebody that good at growing plants.
You'd have had so many other issues.
This is
first.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
happening. This isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a case of what we were talking about earlier with Maddie, where it's you see something in your tank and you make an observation, and then you go through all these thought processes of the things that you think you know. I know plants create CO2.
Yep.
My fish died, must be CO2.
Must be.
And
I think exactly true.
yeah, and it's just, it's like saying my pleco killed my fish because my pleco's eating my
I
fish.
do know there were some like when trying to figure out and understand CO2 and what the best way to do CO2 was, and just really pumping in a lot of CO2 in a densely planted aquarium. I want to carefully, the right amount of CO2 is hard to balance, and whether or not you have it balanced right, I'm not going to say a lot of CO2 because you're going to just gas your tank and you're going to kill everything, and that can happen during the day even in a densely planted aquarium. But if you're putting in a heavy amount of CO2, and at night about an hour after your lights turn off, you have an air stone on a timer that comes on at night to outgas some of that CO2. Boom, you're set.
Yeah. But there's definitely. Sorry.
I don't think there's a situation in a healthy aquarium that's not going to cover it.
Not to mention oxygenation issues are so easy to diagnose. Your
Yeah.
fish will tell you if they can't breathe. They're going to be at the top gasping. So if you're looking at your happy fish staring at you begging, you don't have an oxygen issue.
No.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lastly, from Lauren, she says, this one is for Ben.
Okay.
I have a trio of clown killies,
Nice.
and my two females behave so differently from each other, and I'm chalking it up to different personalities.
Yeah.
Are there specific behavioral quirks of clown killies that makes you like them so much?
It's not a behavioral thing for me with clown killies, although I think they behave like a really cool normal killifish. But no, it's not behavioral quirks. It's the look. It's the look and their small size and the tanks they can go in and the tank mates and things.
Sure.
So it's unfortunately, sorry, Lauren, it's not a behavioral thing for me with why I particularly love that fish.
And the personalities, or what she sees as different personalities, is maybe just a dominant and subdominant female.
Very
Could be.
possible. Yeah. Yeah. But also could be, I think it's
That's
very
true.
possible that they're, fish have different personalities.
Fish
That
are
happens.
individuals. Yep.
Yep.
Next, we have some questions from Julia B. And she has a question about aquarium stands.
Okay.
We scared a lot of people when we talked about leveling tanks and tank leaks.
Yeah.
We got a lot of questions about that.
Okay.
She says, in a recent episode, we talked about tank disasters and how unleveled tanks can be an issue. She's thinking about adding a 20 long to her fish room, but she's nervous about store-bought stands. She's heard people mention that they are not rated for the weight. Is there anything I should look out for in particular when buying a store-bought stand or for thrifting a piece of furniture to hold the stand?
Okay. Hold on. Just a sec.
He's getting up. He's putting his hard hat on.
He's prepared.
This is official
We've
now.
got Ben the Builder on the case.
All right. There we go. Okay. All right. So store-bought stands. First of all, those are engineered by companies with lawyers and all those things, right? So a store-bought stand with a tank rated for the size is going to work if done and installed properly and according to the instructions, right? If it is made for an aquarium. Yeah, without exception.
Yeah, I think we would know if a big retailer was producing a stand that just didn't hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, our tanks aren't quite as heavy as we really think they are.
No.
I mean, a 20-gallon tank that weighs 200 pounds, right? A piece of furniture that you'd stand on with a friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, when people worry about their floors being able to hold their 40-gallon breeder, right? Would you stand on your floor with 4 other people?
You probably
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that's kind of what to think about when you're thinking about weight. I don't think that means just go wild with it, but like if it's designed for an aquarium, sold by an aquarium retailer, it should be able to hold it.
Yes. Now, here's another thing to consider when we're talking about aquariums, and this is why I think many people's store-bought aquariums fail. They are made as inexpensively as possible
Mm-hmm.
often with a product called MDF, or multi-directional fiberboard. And even if it's with natural wood, this still can be problematic. But
Is this
multiple
like particle?
particle board,
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
MDF, right? Particle board is another name for it, and actually,
Okay.
particle board is maybe even a better word to use because you can see the particles in that. Particle board is often made with a water-soluble glue, or with wood that can absorb, like it's little particles. Actually, this is probably a better way to say it, right? Those little particles of wood can absorb water, and they expand and break the bonds of the glue that are in there more than its water-soluble glue.
Yeah. They don't bother to seal the particles.
Right.
Right.
So if a store-bought stand fails, it fails for one of 2 reasons, most likely. Number 1, it wasn't level or plumb, right? Something was rocky, something was shifty. Either one of the 4 legs didn't completely touch the ground, or they all 4 did touch the ground, and eventually that thing sagged and melded to meet the floor. The tank did the same thing, split the seam. Number 2, it got wet.
Yeah.
If your store-bought particle board stand gets wet, yes, it's going to fail. That's not a weight issue. That's because it got wet and didn't get dried properly.
That's what we hear a lot about, like the
Yeah.
expanding particle board
Yeah.
and the flexing and the warping.
Yes.
But honestly, more often than not, when I hear of a leak, you find out pretty quickly that the tank has been moved in an improper way recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
Mhm.
There we go.
Thanks, Ben the Builder. Next from Julia B. She asks about substrate depth. Is
Good
1 inch of soil enough for me to grow stem plants? Should I consider stem plants that are more water column feeders as opposed to root feeders? If so, what types would work?
So the first caveat I would say is a 10-gallon tank big enough for fish?
Right?
What
Too
fish?
broad? Too broad.
Too broad.
Next thing I'm going to say is referencing what we said earlier. Not if it's stratum.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 inch of aqua soil is going to be enough for just about every single stem plant if you can keep it down.
That's really
Yeah.
the only
Like,
issue.
if you took like a really thick ammonia stem that's something that's going to want to float up and somehow managed to weigh it down, it would grow into the 1 inch of soil and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
In aquatic plants, most of them are not. There's not really a distinction between root and water column feeders. They're all doing all things all the time. In fact, most plants can absorb nutrients through their leaves. The reason they don't is they've got this wonderful thing called a cuticle, which is a little waxy layer on the surface of the leaves that they put out to keep themselves from dying of desiccation because they have to keep their water in. So they only really have stomatal entrances on the bottom of the leaves for a lot of plants.
If they don't have a firm layer around them, they dissolve in water, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Well, no, sorry. I'm talking about terrestrial plants. So most terrestrial
Mm.
plants, like plants in general, most plants are capable of uptaking some form of nutrients through their leaves.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
It's just the leaves are built to hold things inside, not to necessarily in a terrestrial plant. So submerged plants lose the cuticle because they don't need it anymore. So most submerged grown plants can actually uptake things through their leaves.
That's cool. Would you say there's some grain of truth there when people talk about root feeders versus
Yeah.
water column feeders, but it's just maybe overstated?
So I think like plants like Echinodoris, like the swords and crypts and stuff that are mostly growing as emergent plants in the wild definitely feed more on their roots because that's physiologically what's beneficial for
Understood.
them.
Though almost everyone I know who has a giant sword has 0 nitrates in their water, and it's
Exact-
not a coincidence.
Exactly. So, yeah, but like most stem plants they don't have much root mass to begin with. Like their roots mostly function as a holdfast. So,
Right now, the way I've started to see root feeders versus leaf feeders is that plants that have been traditionally considered root feeders or might benefit more from root fertilization are just generally less competitive.
yeah.
So they
Yes.
can't compete for the nutrients in the water column as well as like a really fast growing stem plant that might strip it all out. So then they might only grow well if you also supplement them through their roots in a way that the other plants can't steal it.
We are down to our last few questions.
Okay.
I think we can power through them.
There
Excellent.
is a question somebody's been asking in the chat.
Okay.
Well-
I was actually going to save that one.
Okay.
I-
It's
okay.
a tough one to address.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe we can end on that one because I
Okay.
think
Cool.
it's
Sounds good.
kind of a big
Yeah.
question. I was going to go back up in the chat. Our good friend Devin asked a question earlier about geophagus.
Mm. Cool.
They're sand sifting fish.
Yep.
So he's wondering if you can comfortably keep geos in a tank with a split substrate, sand and gravel. Because the concern I think I've heard is that because they push substrate through their mouths and out their gills, having them on the wrong grain of substrate can be damaging to their gills. Do you
They're
think they would
pretty good
know?
about knowing. Yeah, they're pretty good about knowing.
It probably doesn't feel good, and they just won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also if you have a divided substrate, like in this case, you would just want some planters, right? You would still
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
open sand area, but you could still put plants in areas that are sectioned off for plant substrate.
I
Yeah,
also
the-
think.
Go.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
I also don't think you're going to have a divided substrate with geophagus.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Like,
say the
I
same
just, they're
thing.
going to do it.
I was
Yeah.
actually picturing the old John Ball Zoo tank though.
Oh.
That had really nice, like, I think it was pagoda rock or something like that. That actually had little sections that stayed pretty good.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were just really densely planted, so the geos just weren't that interested in being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The geos are going to pick up whatever substrate
Yeah.
there is and set it carefully down right back where they left it. I mean, no, they're going to spread it around with everything, right? So if you have a divided substrate, they're going to mix it. Unless, like what Amy was saying with the John Ball Zoo tank, there's some barrier.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, that's risky.
And like they could still get over there and get it if they wanted to. It was a big enough tank. It wasn't their favorite place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a
Yep.
tank here in the shop that has a pair of bandit cichlids,
Yeah.
which I do see sifting sand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Not geos, but some of that same behavior.
Yep.
And we have this big barrier of stone separating, I think it's soil in the back,
Yeah.
sand in
Yeah.
the front,
Yeah.
and they dimple the sand. You can tell that they're sifting. The other day I went to feed the tank, and all the fish rushed up to the top, and while they were waiting, they went blah and spat out big mouthfuls of sand
Yep.
from the top of the
Yeah.
tank. So
I
they,
think that tank
they'll
actually has
drop
a
it wherever.
really fine gravel with the sand, which
Yeah.
is actually
Mm.
still pretty fine for geos, I think.
Yeah.
It's just those bigger, sharper things.
Well,
Yeah.
and to address too with the geos, like in nature, geophagus are sifting sand, and there's also rocks there. So
Yeah.
like it is
Right.
I've watched geos pull a piece of gravel and that's too big to pass through their gill rakers, and they just spit it out. Like
Yeah.
they're fine.
your only concern is if there's no other substrate
Yeah, exactly.
for them,
Yeah.
Right.
because they're
Right.
going to do that feeding behavior regardless.
And actually, I think that the issue there is that their gill rakers are kind of continually growing because they're wearing them down constantly with the
Oh.
sand.
right? Even sand is abrasive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so they don't end up. They can't wear down their gill rakers, so then they end up with issues because of that.
So
Not-
it's less about being too coarse for their gills, and it's more about it's not the right
Yeah.
grain for them
Yeah.
to wear.
They
their
need
gill rakers.
the sand.
That's so fascinating. Cool.
Yeah. And just go for it with your geos. You really want.
Yeah.
You really want them to
Put 'em on
do their
sand.
thing.
It's,
Yep.
it's why you get them. Like if
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting in a little dish of sand for them does not do it.
Next is a question from Evan, and he says, "What's the best and safest way to have a fragrance in my fish room with open top tanks?" He's worried
Ooh.
about contamination.
Fresh flowers.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Brew your coffee in there.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So a lot of the fragrant producing things are they're doing with an oil,
Yeah.
and a lot of those there's some questions about whether or not it's actually safe for humans to breathe.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you would want that oil to be able to settle on your aquarium. So I don't know that I would use any of those.
Maybe if you had one of the essential oils that you knew was relatively safe.
Unlike one of the little like woodwick things.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you got to know it's an essential oil and that you can trust and what the carrier oil is and stuff like that. But I'm sure like lemongrass oil would probably be relatively
Just
safe,
go
you
fart in the
know?
other room.
Yeah.
There was
Or figure out why your fish room is stinky
other
and then
thing- yeah.
fix
Yeah.
that.
like if your fish
Yeah.
room smells, get a dehumidifier. That's a good step to take to
Yeah.
reduce the odor. of your
And
fish
don't
room.
overfeed.
Don't overfeed.
Yeah. Fish tanks don't stink. If your fish tank stinks, you're doing something
Yeah.
wrong.
Clean the inside rim of your tank underneath the lid.
Right.
So many
Yeah.
people have so much stink from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I-
But it
when I
should
walk-
smell like wet dirt at the worst.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
When I walk in a
At
fish
most.
room, I want to that earthy
Yeah.
plant
Yeah.
smell.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Yep.
what it should
Yep.
be.
Otherwise, like you could use like some of the like Febreze is probably safe to spray if it's unscented.
See, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
scary. You
Well,
think
because
so?
what
Yeah.
Febreze is an odor eliminator, not
Yeah.
a scent.
Yeah.
So,
So-
it's just something that absorbs
Right.
scents,
A
Are we
beeswax candle should be safe. True beeswax.
No, because you're
depending on
so,
the scent.
And the thing is with beeswax, still you're burning the wax, and that wax is building up on surfaces. So I
Oh,
actually
that's
had a
true.
service account
Oh.
that they burned a lot of candles. The tank was fine, but there was always that oil film on the tank.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and there was like a little like candle thing next to the tank. I think that's from the candles.
Yep.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for the pot shot. I didn't mean to call you stinky. But really, like, there's a lot of weird things that do build up that can
Yeah.
cause some smells. So
Be right back.
Yeah, but I think like really limiting humidity is the thing that like makes things smell.
yeah,
And move air. Like move some air around your fish room. Yeah. I don't know.
How do we feel about maybe chain smoking 2 packs of cigarettes in your fish room every day?
It's not going to smell like fish in there anymore.
Yeah,
It-
no, I see no downside.
yeah. No clove oil.
Yeah.
Tea tree. Yeah, I don't really like tea tree as a smell.
I
though.
like it a lot. Yeah.
Amy, you made a good point earlier about just like deodorizers as opposed to trying to mask a scent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Febreze is actually an example of that. Though I'm not convinced that there's not other chemicals in there that could settle.
Well, they smell very
But,
florally.
Like the
Okay.
carbon deodorizers that you can
Yeah.
get, that would probably work.
Also
fairly
like
well.
like the poopery. There's like the
oh yeah,
peppery one.
mhm.
But so fun fact about Febreze is it actually works mostly by deodorizing.
Hmm.
So they used to sell it, and you can still buy it unscented Febreze, and it works as deodorizer. But most people don't think it works because they like it tricks your brain. So
Hmm.
that's why they added scent to it originally.
I'm in the camp of like, I don't want my house to smell like anything, good or bad, just neutral. You know,
You should get some unscented Febreze.
like I rented an Airbnb once and I walked in and they had like a Glade plug-in on every single outlet and it was choking me. It was so
Yeah, see, that's just
intoxicating.
rough. That doesn't even
But
feel
some
good
people
to be in.
live like that.
But I
So-
do I don't mind having a nice smell out there. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
that smell nice. You got to make sure it's the things that actually are safe. And then you need to know the whole list of ingredients you're adding.
Lola, we're gonna get to your question.
Yeah, sorry. When we were talking earlier. That's the one we're saving to the end. Sorry.
we're-
Yeah, we're
No,
definitely
they
gonna.
sent that message before we said that, actually.
Yep, it's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is I think behind.
We got you. Don't worry.
Okay.
We see ya.
This one seems maybe lagging a bit. I didn't do Roachcast episode 2.
No.
You didn't have enough time.
We're done with
you got
roaches. Come on.
canceled. You got canceled after
no.
episode 1 because you talked about roach milk.
Oh no.
You got to know your audience, man.
My house smells like dogs or cinnamon rolls is such a lovely confession.
Yeah. Yep. We like you. We like you based on
That's
that
true.
alone.
You could put a wet dog in there and that would change the smell of
Smells.
your room.
All right, I have 2 questions left.
Okay.
Okay.
This is from Jacob B, and he says, "How does watercolors manage the solid waste produced by the sharks? Because we have a couple of very large white spotted bamboo sharks here. Are you guys continuously vacuuming the tank, or does it just get processed through the filter system?" This led him to the idea of an episode called substrate and bare bottom tanks. This would be maybe the scenarios where you
Yeah.
would use one or the other.
Yeah, that's a great idea for an episode. Very little vacuuming has to happen in that tank. It's got really good circulation, and it has these two 3-foot wave fans
Yeah.
that keep things stirred up in the tank. And by that I mean 2 3-foot sharks that are constantly swimming and keeping things up in.
Nothing settles.
Taking mouthfuls of sand, spitting it out.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
also, I mean, managing waste for the sharks is a chore. I won't deny that. They're
Yeah.
3-foot
Yes.
fish. But it's not about the amount of physical waste they produce necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, they get fed 3 times a week. They probably poop 2 or 3 times a week.
The only shark that I've really noticed physical waste on and removed physical waste on is Wookiee.
Yeah, and she's just a
Right.
bomb waiting to go
Yeah.
off. So.
Yeah. So the sharks are on they are in a 360-gallon aquarium that feeds into another roughly 1,500 gallons. And the drain from those shark tanks goes into a bunch of algae tanks, a bunch of refugium tanks. So the waste is slowly dripped, trickled in, pumped in, bumped in, pushed into onto a bunch of Kato.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that really is what processes that shark waste.
The Wookiee waste is more solid than the bamboo shark waste, so it is something that like I physically seen something float by and I've grabbed it. Mostly because I was like, oh, I can reduce a little bit of our water change we need to
Right.
do next week.
Yeah.
So if I see it, I'll do it. But like it's the same thing. Like she stirs it all up. So
Yeah.
The only animals I feel like I need to manage physical waste for are things that eat wood.
Placos.
Placos and shrimp.
shrimp,
Yeah.
Shrimp are the worst.
bristlenose
Yeah.
plecos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, we've got tanks that have common placos in, and we take them as rescues all the time. It will be literal piles.
Yeah.
And that's bare bottom. We
Yeah.
just
Yep.
suck it out.
I despise the bristlenose pleco in Ben's display tank downstairs.
You can take it out if you want to.
I need him right now. I don't
Right.
have another
It's
answer.
a love-hate relationship.
It's a
Yeah,
he's
I get it.
doing a service. I need to have like 30 amano shrimp in there
Yeah.
to replace him.
That's
Yeah,
but
they're
that would be
coming
better.
on Friday.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So back to the Shark Tank, right? When we're talking about waste management in that Shark Tank, we're not talking about having to deal with the physical waste. It's the effect of on the nitrogen cycle. So the nitrates on that system, with it being, I think it's 1,700 or 1,800 gallons total.
Yeah.
But there are 3 large sharks and 1 medium shark in that system.
There's a good sized eel in there too.
Yeah, yeah. So they're producing a ton of nitrogen. So we're doing 200-gallon water changes on that system every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and barely keeping up with the nitrogen.
There's
So-
a skimmer on there too.
There's a
Yeah,
skimmer
a
and there's a
big one.
huge refugium.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a ton of macroalgae growth in that system, and it's barely enough to keep up with it.
Yeah. There's also in those macroalgae tanks a ton of microalgae growth as well to help.
And photosynthetic sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
there's all kinds
it
of
grows
things
like
to.
a weed in that
It
system.
does.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's happy.
And some big soft corals too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
helps a ton.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess you could call that chemical filtration.
Yeah.
All right, last question of the night.
All right, here we go.
This one actually came from the chat, and it might be a big question.
Okay.
So
Might be a smaller question than we'd like it to be.
maybe. Lolo the Clown asks, can you give any information on activism towards shrimp legality, which is a brand new sentence that nobody's ever said. Maine has a very strict and outdated law where freshwater shrimp, are illegal. What else can be done to change that? And they went on to say there is a strangely large illegal trade for freshwater shrimp in their area. Have
That
you
doesn't
heard of
really
that?
Surprise me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that fact.
Maine
actually.
has some of the strictest aquarium laws in the country. They are the whole state. I believe it's Maine, right? That has a white list instead of a black
Yes.
list.
Yeah.
So in Maine, every new species has to be pre-approved. If there is an illegal shrimp trade in Maine, please stop.
You're
all
not
of that,
helping.
You're not
no,
helping your
all of that
case.
energy that you're putting into doing that illegal thing, please put that energy back into education and activism, into trying to better the laws and regulations in the state of Maine.
or
So-
better your aquarium culture so that maybe the state of Maine would trust you
So,
to,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm not saying that it's because people are doing things wrong. I'm just saying, you know, you kind of have to have harsher laws if you feel like people aren't going to follow
Yeah.
them.
Right.
So if you want to like work to change like putting that onto the whitelist, like Neocaridina, first I'd reach out to whatever land grant universities there is in your state, which I think is UMaine, and reach out to their extension office, their fisheries extension office. That's going to be who you run out to talk to. That's who Paige is for us. Like she works for
Yeah.
MSU Extension.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the best course of action for you as far as like pitching this to the legislator.
Right.
But it's something too I kind of want to stress and understanding. Crustaceans are really scary organisms, and we are probably have too loose of regulation as far as shrimp go
Right.
nationwide. Like,
Yeah, if you want to try to repeal this law because you want to argue that Neocaridina can't survive in Maine, they might come at you with research that shows that
So-
it can.
Mhm.
and like I think you can like iNaturalist is a powerful tool. Go look at iNaturalist for Neocaridina davidii. There's some locations where there's springs that they're occurring in springs where some aquarists put them out there. But like there's some in like Kentucky and there's some in North Florida. That's like a real scary thought for me.
Yeah.
Climate change. Neocaridina could be a huge invasive species, like by and large across the United States. And I think I don't think, but I also want to stress, I don't think they should be made illegal. But I do think it's something that, like, as an aquarium trade, we should be acknowledging.
Yeah.
In the past, we've spoken about whitelists as it seems to be spoken of in aquarium in hobbyist circles that it's this scary thing looming over us. What if this hobby becomes based on whitelists?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like while I think there's some difficulties making that work in terms of enforcement, it might be beneficial. I know it's a complicated topic.
So
Yeah.
and this is a big can of worms to open, but
I think like aquarists are pressed with like two issues. It's either we can ignore the problem and say no whitelist, and eventually it's going to steamroll us, and we're going to lose everything. Like
that's
you're not,
the concern.
we're not going to be there. We're not going to be able to communicate our concerns, and I think that is just blatantly the wrong approach because
Okay.
there's good data saying that like the whitelist, that like aquarium imports are doing harm to native ecosystems here in the United States. I think
Mm-hmm.
that like irrefutable data. I think
Yeah.
we stand to benefit as like aquarium hobbyists in being a part of the conversation instead of just saying no. Like I think that's where we're gonna mess up and where we're gonna lose kind of.
Yeah. Okay. That's the same page
regulation.
that
Yeah.
I was on.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hear you.
One of two things needs to happen in the aquarium hobby, and maybe this is one or two things needs to happen. Maybe this is this huge political statement, right? Either people need to do it right, or there needs to be really strong regulation.
Yeah.
One of the two. We in Michigan, we're kind of, you know, we're in this little bubble of the hobby where the hobby thrives, and we can say, well, we don't need to worry about, right? Like what we make illegal in the state of Michigan are those things in the aquarium hobby that we know could survive if they were released. But we're in Michigan, not Florida, right? So then should we tell then the state of Florida, if it can survive in Florida waters, you shouldn't be allowed to legally keep it in your aquarium? Guess what that means,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so where's the line? And by the way, this is purely a discussion. I don't have the solution.
Yep.
But handling it state by state makes great sense to me. It's just that means that those laws are going to be different.
But
Yeah. I mean, if Florida behaved like Michigan, well, first there would be a lot less problems there, and that won't ever happen. But we outlawed dojo loaches in the state of Michigan, weather loaches, because we found established populations of dojo loaches in Michigan. If you did that in Florida,
Yeah.
you would outlaw the aquarium hobby.
So they actually made some points here in the top. So Maine waters are really harsh. Like I can acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
But Neos can like overwinter it in the upper 40s. Like
Right.
that is a mild winter, and
Yeah.
then a couple good deep lakes. Like
I mean, that being said, like, it's obviously harsh regulation that covers things
Absolutely,
that won't
yeah.
survive. And the mechanisms to try and influence that just aren't that straightforward. Have everyone you know call your representative or send an email and just let them know, hey, this is my hobby. This is what I'm passionate about. This is maybe even research that I know of that shows what temperatures these things can survive at. But if your legislature says that they don't want it, there's not much you can
No.
do other than just let it be known that there are people here who care about it.
yeah.
Yeah, it
you-
just kind of stinks.
Yeah, and the reason I encourage you to go to a university for it is like the extension office in a land grant university. That is their job, is to address these concerns and bring them to legislator.
Yeah,
And
and
to
they are trained in that communication and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But you can make contact with a representative,
absolutely.
and they may listen to you.
And but the main reason like I'm pushing here is I don't understand the Maine laws. Like
Yeah.
I know it's a whitelist. I know functionally how whitelists work, but I'm not an expert on Maine regulation. None of us are. But like if I had a question or concern in the state of Michigan, I'd reach out to the extension office.
Yeah.
Like I meant so that's what I'd urge you to do as well. They'll
I
guide
heard
you.
some discussion at an aquarium convention with some people from Maine, and they were talking about they like lumpers and splitters in taxonomy.
yeah.
right? The way the Maine law is written, and by the way, this is hearsay. This is me listening to and chatting with some people in a conversation once at a convention
right.
4 years ago. Okay, so don't take this as pure fact, but this is kind of what my takeaway was from this conversation. That every time a species gets renamed, it totally screws all the hobbyists in Maine, because this fish that they were keeping, like what's something that just got renamed recently?
Corridorus.
Yeah, all of
Corydorus,
them.
right? All of those Corydorus now are technically illegal in Maine, because Corydorus paleatus was the scientific name. That's one that's not Corydorus anymore,
No,
right?
it's Hoplosoma paleatum.
Right. So Corydorus paleatus was named legal in the state of Maine. By the way, I don't know if that Cory cat is legal. I just picked a common one. It
As an
probably is.
example.
I don't know that for sure. That's an example, right?
So
But
is that-
now it got renamed. It is now a different fish.
So you can put like that can be fixed with pretty easily with like wording and legislation, right? Like you
Yes,
can say
but the wording, what I understand, is not
yeah,
right.
and that would be something like you could bring up to an extension office. You can bring up to a representative that we need to adjust this. But like you could just say, hey, we need to include synonym, and like if you wrote synonym of said species,
Yeah.
that would cover that. So
But then
Yeah.
they split the genus. But then they split the species.
so that even still those would still be synonyms.
Synonyms. Okay,
Yeah.
that works.
But that
Yep.
just means the law needs to be updated and adjusted
Right.
to accommodate that. In the meantime, it still may be prohibited. My suspicion is people just do it anyway, and they try
Yeah.
to enforce the laws where they can.
Yeah.
But, you're going to have to commiserate with our listeners from Australia and New Zealand on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It just kind of stinks.
The reality is, if this was a perfect world, or if even just a much better world, with a bunch of people that cared, it wouldn't be a problem, because stupid people wouldn't have screwed it up for us,
Yeah.
right? The only reason we can't have dojo loaches in Michigan, by the way, I don't care that much about dojo loaches, but I
do.
know people that do, right? The only reason we can't have dojo loaches is because stupid, irresponsible people or uneducated people, right? Let's go with this: evil, stupid, or uneducated. Three different
Sometimes intentionally misled.
Yeah.
things. One of those three things happened with dojo loaches. So if we stop being evil, we educate the stupid and we educate the ignorant, or we do something about the stupid. I don't know. Stupid is the hardest one to hear. I don't know how to fix stupid. You can't fix stupid. There's some comedians out there about that, right? But then it wouldn't be a problem anymore. So then, what do we do from there? I don't know. Keep talking about it, trying to work on it.
support good stores, honestly, because
Yes.
bad stores
Yes.
are what contributes to most of these issues. We love to blame the individuals who let them go, but I know for a fact that Dojo Loches have been in local stores within the last couple of
Yeah.
years.
Yes.
And the people who worked there did not know what they were. The people who bought them did not know what they were. They just brought me a picture, and I said, oh, wow, you guys all made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a privilege. This hobby and the businesses that are involved in this hobby, we're privileged to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we bear the burden of having to be educated on the animals that we sell and
Yeah.
how we educate people on how to care for them.
I also feel like us as we don't say no to any trade-ins really. Like we say we'll say no, but if somebody's like, I really need to drop this thing off, we will take it and we will do what's responsible for it with
Right.
the animal. If somebody called us tomorrow with Dojo Loches, we would take them as a store. We would do what's responsible with the organism, which in this case would be euthanizing and then probably
Yep.
asking where they got them
Yep.
from and reporting
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
Nobody's going to punish us for that momentary possession, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
the
If you go to a store that sells shrimp and shrimp are illegal, walk out
walk out
immediately.
Yes.
and report them.
Report it.
Yeah.
They're breaking the law. Like if you're willing to break the law here as a store to make a quick buck, like that is just
Think of all the other things you would be doing.
exactly
Yeah.
like
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe that's super preachy. If I lived in one of those areas, I would be pretty bummed about it too. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ended on a hard one.
Yeah, but good. I think that was good, Nick. I think you organized it well.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think there might be, maybe you guys can remember some episodes previously where we discussed kind of whitelist regulations. Can we
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
call back to those?
one of
Yeah.
them was like understanding regulation, and then there's like a Lacey Act one. That
Oh,
was like
yeah.
the first podcast I was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Like-
it's a challenging topic.
Those are
it
really hard
absolutely is.
episodes.
Yep.
So
It might be time to get Alicia back on the show.
Yeah, and it's
Yep.
like it's hard to really have like a good conclusion or advice to give to people, but I just still think it's pretty important to talk about it.
Yeah.
Keep talking, and keep doing it right. Keep being a part of the solution. Don't push it. Don't if it's illegal, don't do it. If you want it to be legal, if you think it should be legal and you think you want to do it, instead of thinking you want to do it, go talk to people and talk about finding ways to make it legal and find ways to do it right.
Coleman just made it harder too and said, "What about online retailers?"
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to know what you're allowed to have. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
online retailers, they'll pretty much sell anything to anyone.
Well, we do have lists that come out that there are Dojo Loches on the list because they're not illegal in every state, and I have seen lists that say on there Dojo Loches no sale to Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois.
On the other hand, I've also accidentally ordered illegal plants,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
they
True.
just showed up.
Then they just showed up. So
But ignorance to the laws doesn't make you
it does not.
Yeah,
free
and
of the
I think
consequence.
like if you're going to a local store, that's one thing. Online is the Wild West, and that's when
Yeah.
you can only trust what you know.
Well, and if you've got an online shipper that's willing to ship you a Dojo Loche and you live in the state of Michigan, that is an unethical or uneducated online retailer.
Right.
One of the two.
What's crazy is we had this conversation about some particular killifish recently.
Yeah.
There are some large wholesalers that are able to sell things that are not only prohibited in certain areas, but prohibited in general,
Mm-hmm.
and there doesn't seem to be any consequences.
Or prohibited in their home country and not necessarily
So
here, but
that-
only because they are. If it's illegal there, it's illegal here.
So
Mhm.
But why are there no consequences in this scenario?
lack of enforcement, and there's bigger fish to fry
Yep.
for federal enforcement.
And this is why
Consequences cost tax dollars.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
is where the whitelist concept becomes challenging because you need a DNR officer who knows all these
So-
species and can enforce this.
It's why I love the idea of a whitelist. A whitelist should mean that there is enough funding to support the type of infrastructure needed to enforce it.
But
And
there's not.
if that existed, that would be amazing for all of us.
Yeah.
So I do think like something is better than nothing. If that whitelist means that like us
Mhm.
as a store stops buying something that could potentially cause harm,
Mhm.
or most responsible retailers would probably stop carrying things.
Yep.
That is a huge win. Like even if we can't enforce anything, if you're
And even if we have to restrict something that just looks like something that should be illegal, it's still something we have to do.
Yeah.
Small price to
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah. if all right, here's an extreme example. Water lettuce. Water lettuce kept in aquariums is just fine. There's nothing wrong with keeping water lettuce in an aquarium in the state of Michigan. Water lettuce kept in a pond outside is very problematic. It's not illegal yet, but it's going to be. Right?
That law is open for comment. There's 19 other species on the list.
Yes. Yes.
Water lettuce on a compost pile or in a trash bin is also a big problem.
Problematic.
Water
Right.
lettuce seeds going down your drain, also a problem.
Right. Water lettuce for sale in Florida is a much bigger problem, but you can still buy water lettuce in Florida. Right? So we're in the state of Michigan. So let's say we're in the state of Michigan. It should be, I'm going to say this really carefully, it should be perfectly legal to buy water lettuce in the state of Michigan, knowing that whoever buys it is not going to be stupid enough to use it outside and let it get into the waterways. That should be just fine. But it's not. And it's
Mhm.
not for good reasons, and we no longer carry water lettuce.
And that was a really sad decision to make.
It was. I like
Yeah,
water
I
lettuce.
miss
agree.
it, you
We
know?
tell
Yeah.
people no all the time.
But
Yep.
it is what it is. I've got other floaters,
Yeah.
and I will move on.
That's because of recommendations from the DNR because of how stupid and irresponsible people can be. That was harsh. I don't care.
It's true though.
Yeah.
All right.
Big topic.
Big topic.
That's all the questions we had, plus the few in the chat. So everybody who submitted a question or joined us in the chat and had one to chime in with, thank you. This was super fun. We do these every couple months, I'd say, but we always
whenever it
accept
feels like
questions.
time.
We
Yes.
always accept questions. If you come up with them, if you had a question in the chat and it didn't get addressed tonight, you can email me and we can kind of save those in the queue for the future episodes.
Yeah, definitely. And, any questions, comments, concerns, you can always send an email. You can make a post on Facebook. You can send a message in the Discord. We're always here for you.
Nick, thank you very much for putting these together. You always do a fantastic job, and it is always a blast having you on the show. We're going to keep coming up with excuses to get you here, not just because we like you on the show, but because we don't want you to be sad when you miss it.
Yeah.
I do get sad.
Yeah.
I do get sad.
I saw him
This is
crying
a lot of
tears of
fun.
joy today.
Yes, just
I'm
because
so
of this
happy
night.
to be here. Free
Well,
beer.
Join the Discord. Join the Facebook group. Go to watercolors.shop and support the show there. Join our YouTube membership. Support the show there. Please come and visit us at Kelly Carnival. We
Yes,
want to meet
please.
all of you, and it's just going to be so much fun. We're
Come
so
say hi.
excited. We're working on the talk. We have so many ideas. It's just going to be a really good time.
Come see me at GVAC in March. Go to Missouri to see Calder in July.
And Swamis in March.
Swamis in March. Yes, come see us. Come see us in person, and make sure come up, say hello, introduce yourself. I love to hear that. The YouTube chat here has been absolutely amazing, super fun. All this extra activity is really cool. It really does energize us and inspire us and keep us wanting to do more.
We have the best listeners.
It's so good. Extra special thanks to all of our YouTube listeners out there. Thank you so much for listening. Let's have lots of fun and keep those hands wet.
Really sweet comment from Devin at the end for you, Nick.
Yeah, I remember when they wandered in, and I feel like they had a problem aquarium, and now they have 5.
I
aquariums.
love it.
I don't know what they're up to, but they came in needing help, and now they have
6.
projects.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
awesome,
And
Devin. That's awesome.
That's the right where we want them.
We
What-
got you.
One of my favorite transitions for an employee, and you guys, I mean, everybody's been here so long now, it's almost a moot point at this point. But when somebody comes in and says, "Hey, is Nick working today?" and I, as the owner, say, "Oh no, he's not, but he'll be here tomorrow," and the look of disappointment on that customer's face when like, "Oh, I was really hoping to talk to him," that to me as a store owner says, "Damn, he's doing it right. That's awesome. That's so good." So I love that. It's an amazing staff and amazing team here. So
Shoot, Bear, it just reminded us that we had to choose a winner.
Oh, no.
Skylar,
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to do it on
oh
the
yeah,
spot?
Skylar. that was
Which one
such
was
a funny question.
Skylar's?
That was the where do you
collection one?
yeah, the collection
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I
that's
love that. Was
exactly what
super
came to
fun.
my
I
mind
loved
too.
it.
That was
Yep.
fun. So we
Did
have.
you
I
have a
think
different one,
we-
Calder?
No, I would.
Yeah,
that was my answer.
those that
Yep.
you're gonna pick.
I just
All
couldn't
right.
remember which one was Skylar's question.
That's
Yeah.
the one. Yep.
The
Yep.
names are the hard part.
Yeah.
Skylar, if you're here, shoot us an email. Otherwise, I think we have your info.
I just need an address for them so we can send them a T-shirt.
Yep.
And a
we'll,
size
we'll
and
send you
a
something
design.
cool. So
Yeah.
we'll reach out to you or reach out to us if you hear this before we get a hold of you.
Sounds good.
Very cool.
That was fun, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for joining.
Yep.